Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
Good.
I wish that we turned that off, that it had like a fade or something instead of just going completely off. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
Did it sound okay to you? In my headphones, it sounded a little weird this time.
Yeah, you sound a little loud.
Dave had his mic unmuted when I started playing, so I had to mute him.
I sound loud?
No.
Mhm.
No.
Hold on. I can adjust this. Is this better? Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, there's just like an echo or something, Mike.
Is there? Shoot.
I don't hear it. Weird. Huh.
You sound great, Chris. I don't know about me. Do I sound bad?
Yeah, you sound good.
Fine.
You sound muffled.
Yeah.
Who's you?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Let me check my audio.
Ooh, good morning from Germany. Awesome.
Cool.
Is it super early morning?
All right, check. 1, 2. Is that better?
Yeah.
That's got it. Yeah.
Yeah, now you sound clutch. There you go.
All right.
Very nice.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. We got Nick in the house.
We got folks. Your 17-year-old daughter loves an Angus version of Moanin' makes me feel a sweet tingle in my belly. Oh, shit.
Does everyone know what happened to Brandon? I don't think anything happened to Brandon. He just stopped joining the live streams.
Yeah. Exactly.
If something happened to him, let us know, please. His Instagram is vinyl_quest. If you want to follow him.
Not me. What, Nick? Well, what's going on? Did you have a good week?
Yeah, really good week. I mean, it was a pretty stressful week at work, but now that I'm through it, I'm really happy. So it was good in that sense.
Yeah.
Also getting work done around the house, and then also getting work done with records. Got a stack here. I'm excited to show. I wasn't here last week, so I have a 2 weeks worth of stuff to show.
Awesome.
All right, bring it.
Is anyone else joining? I usually don't. We usually have Rob kick things off, but is he unable to join?
I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, I could show something. I was hoping Mike Notes and Tones would join for an Ellington conversation.
Oh, yeah.
That would be nice. I could show this. I could show a couple things. I'm going to hold off on these. All right. So we are going to talk about Bitches Brew later. But yes, before we get into that, this came up for $10. This is Early Miles. So this is a 1964 repress of. You guys know this record? You ever see that?
Hey, Nicole. No. Oh, yeah. I've seen it. I haven't ever had it, but I've seen it.
So this is an early 7000. It's 7025, and it's the cartoonist is Don Martin, who is kind of famous from his Mad Magazine work, but he did a bunch of Prestige covers as well. This is the repress, so it doesn't have that cool cover, and it's on the Blue Trident RVG. It's probably recycled vinyl. There's a little bit of noise, but how the music is, it totally overwhelms the noise.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool. It's early, so it's a 51 session and a 53 session. You have Sonny Rollins on this, Zoot Sims, Benny Green on trombone, John Lewis piano, Percy Heath bass, Roy Haynes and Kenny Clark drums, and some other folks too. But it's cool to hear this early Miles stuff is kind of interesting to put it in the context. So yeah, I wouldn't normally get it, but it came up for $10. So I was like, you know what? Let me just grab that. So I have a lot. I almost have everything on his Prestige 12-inch now. For Miles, there's might be one that I don't have, but yeah, there's one where he collaborates with who's the tenor player? It's I forget his name now, but anyway, he plays like a minor role, but they give him like equal billing is I think his name, but it's really the other tenor player's album, which I can't remember who his name right now.
Sonny?
No, it's not Sonny. Lee Konitz. So there's a Prestige one. There's Prestige Lee Konitz sessions where Miles is on it, and if you listen to that, Miles, like, his solos are so short. Like, he's really supporting.
Right.
They're really like Lee Konitz is star of the show when it comes to the
Now,
music.
that one you just showed, is it any good?
It's okay. It's surprise. I mean, yeah, I think it's good. It's worth getting if you can get it for a good price. It's worth getting. But yeah, it is early. And what do they do on this? They do 4 adults only, which I think might be a Jimmy Heath song. I'm not really familiar. Oh, they do Tasty Pudding. That's kind of the Tasty Pudding is probably like the best song on this. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. So I don't know if anybody has. This is the more familiar cover. So like, there's an OJC with this cover. The original, I think it was probably a repress.
Nicole, I don't know. I think you might be muted or something. I don't know if we can hear you. Your mic's all the way down. Hang on, let me fix that. There we go.
It's a lesser Prestige. I guess so. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not the first one to get. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure.
But it's still worth getting. It's still worth having.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But yeah,
I just think I like the. I would like to. I'm gonna have to stream it because, like, those 2 early 1500 Blue Note comps. You know, the Miles stuff. I just don't like them, really. I mean, they're okay.
I think I like one of them and the other not so much.
Maybe I have to listen to the other one because I got the classic series that came out whenever it was last year.
So do you have any of the Miles when he was playing with Charlie Parker and that?
Yeah, I do have some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Dave Pounds. I actually highlighted the Plum box on Steve Westman's stream when we were on his stream. I think it was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 Thursdays ago now. So I do break it down. I don't think I'm going to do that again. Chris from Wickham Brown Jazz Vinyl, he just put up a review. But generally, I think it's a must get in my opinion. I mean, obviously it's to everybody's taste, but I think it's one of the most exciting new reissues that has come out. So I think it's great. I think the music's, I mean, most importantly, the music is excellent. The pressing sounds great. The box is done the nicest I've ever seen a box done. So, I mean, I think it's a fair price. You get 4 records, and I think it's $175.
Oh,
and what's that?
I thought it was like $150.
I think the Ray Angry 3 is $150. I think this one's $175, or it's $150, $175, something like that.
Yeah, it was $150 on pre-order. I think it's $175 now.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
But hey, Mike, this is 1955. Miles.
Yeah, that's Musings of Miles. That's a reissue Musings of Miles.
This is just the different cover.
Yeah, that is a fucking great record.
Yeah. This is probably some of the earliest stuff I have of Miles.
That is
Philly Joe Jones.
That is great. Yeah. It's a quartet, so it's just Miles and rhythm section. So no tenor accompaniment.
So I think we may be hearing more about Plum next week.
Okay. Are we going to make it record of the week?
I don't know. What do you think?
I haven't received.
Yeah, people are still getting it. I think.
Well, I mean, it's been a couple weeks now, so I figure by next week everybody will have it if they ordered it already.
Yeah, and I suspect there's going to be more reviews that come out when people get it. But yeah, I mean, you could stream it. So if you like it, I think it's an awesome box. I really love it.
Next week, I'm going to go see David Murray with El Escobar.
Awesome.
Blue Haze is killer. I like Blue Haze a lot.
That's awesome, Nicole. I'm thinking about trying to go see him in Austin, but it's like on a Monday or on a Sunday. So I don't know.
You still debating on Billy Harper too, Chris?
No, it's Billy Harper. It's one thing I have. Yeah, I think it's actually Billy Harper. It's next week, not Dave Murray. David Murray.
I don't. So, Arkin Sawyer is saying, can you start to hear the Birth of the Cool in that Miles pressing? I don't have Birth of the Cool. I know I've streamed it. I know the content of it. I don't think so. I think Birth of the Cool is kind of an outlier.
Birth of the Cool is kind of its own animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is small group bebop hard bop, whatever, like bop stuff. I think Birth of the Cool is I don't know how I describe it honestly, but I think it's a little different.
It's chill. It's just such a great chill record.
That shit was recorded before the stuff you showed though, Mike. Birth of the Cool was recorded in 49 and 50.
Okay, all right, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it just.
Yeah, I need to get it. I've been waiting to get one of the original like turquoise labels ones, or if Harley might put it out on Tone Poet because he said he was going to do Capital.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So he could do a Miles. You know that might be a great way to get it if he does that. The only reason why he might not do it is because that reissue, that complete Birth of the Cool reissue, just came out like 2 years ago. So I don't know if that matters, but
I would be surprised if it's not one of them. You know, the question is how does it sound, right? It was recorded in 49 or 50. You know.
Yeah, and also it's a comp, right? So I don't know anything about how tape is spliced and put together, but it is a comp. So I don't know how those original tapes are.
Sure.
If they're
I have an original of Capital of Birth of the Cool. It's a nice copy. It was probably the early days of Carolina Soul, like probably one of the first years they were online.
Yeah, who else is on Birth of the Cool? Isn't Bill? Is it?
Let me get it
it's what do you call it? What's his name? George Russell. George Russell. I think he's a main guy on there.
He's not on it. It's well, I mean, it depends on the session, I guess. So it's
okay.
Miles Davis, Kai Wending, Junior Collins, Bill Barber on tuba, Lee Konitz, Joe Mulligan, Al Haig on piano, then Max Roach on drums. Yeah.
Max Roach is nice on this.
Kenny Clark's on. I mean, there's 3 different sessions. It looks like so.
Okay.
Depending on which release you're talking about, CD, box set, all that shit. You know.
This is a mint copy. This is a gorgeous.
Lee Konitz.
Yeah.
How does it sound? Do you remember?
I mean, I don't have a copy, but streaming it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
The stream doesn't, but that doesn't mean the record's going to sound bad. The stream though is not great.
I got that when their auctions used to start at $6.
Oh, the turquoise label goes for like $100 now.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't paying hardly anything for jazz records then. Like, not compared to now. Now's a free for all.
Yeah.
I mean, Nicole was buying records when they were coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
This has got to blow your mind now to see some of these prices.
Yeah, trust me.
Because stuff used to be $3-5.
That's well, I remember buying the first Allman Brothers record for $1.99.
Right, and that was probably expensive.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just so crazy how the times are. Inflation.
Yeah, I know. And then when you have the OJCs, that's why I see these things at $20, $25, and I just like cringe at that. Like,
yeah. I got lucky with OJCs because my local had them 6-7 years ago for nothing. They were just he had a whole back wall full of them, and I just scarfed them all up. You know, I don't even think I paid over $10 for any of them.
Yeah.
Well, hell, they were cheap in 2020.
Yeah,
they were cheap 4 years ago. You know,
they're still pretty cheap.
I mean, yeah, they mostly are.
I was paying $5, $6 for them. So
I feel like a lot of
40 years ago, though, Nicole.
It depends on the title, but I feel like a lot of OJCs are around $25 now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and it could be higher. It depending on the title. It could be higher or lower.
At this point, you can get one of the really well done, Kevin Gray classics or whatever, for almost the same price.
And they sound so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're mostly really good sounding, in my experience. I mean, remember when we talked to what blew me away is when we talked to Chad about the Bill Evans stuff. He said they were competing against the OJCs, not the OGs, when they were testing them.
Yeah.
So the OJCs sounded better than the OJCs sounded better than the OGs anyway. I'm like, wow, okay.
Which the OJCs I have sound really good.
Yeah, they're early ones. In fact, somebody told me, he goes, if you can see the one if you see it with a barcode, you kind of start questioning with the barcode.
But even those, like
the ones without the barcode.
Sure.
most of the time, I've never. I mean, the only OJC I've avoided is the incredible guitar of Wes Montgomery, because I read that after they put it out in like '64 or something, that the tapes have been lost. So that is actually a needle drop, and I heard that actually does sound not so great. But all the ones like that I've had, I mean, I don't think I have one that sounds bad, and I have a lot.
Yeah.
All different types. I have some that were pressed like 5 years ago, some that were pressed in '82, and like all the ones in between. Generally pretty happy with them. Some of them sound like I have one that's the Wave Jazz Classic, which is essentially an OJC special thing they put out in Japan, of Benny Green. I forget what the title is, but that one does sound like a little boxed in. But even then, you just crank it up. It still sounds really enjoyable. Like it's not
what
a
did
bad.
Benny play? The trombone?
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this a few times, but the one to find is the OJC's -001, which is
that?
Milt Jackson Quartet.
I know that.
Best sounding OJC.
Really?
I used to use that as a demo for my stereo because it was that good.
Oh wow, that's high praise.
Yeah. It's cheap too. $10.
Yeah. And but Chris, to your point about Chad saying that it was the OJC Bill Evans Riverside that he thought was the one to beat. I have a lot of Riversides. There are some that do sound very good, but a lot of them sound terrible. Like I recently got that Abby Lincoln Abby is Blue stereo. It's okay, but like I guarantee the OJC sounds better than that. I feel like that's an easy one to beat.
Yeah. I'm
like some of them are just.
I've had these Riversides for years, and I just don't go to them as often as other records because I have a different setup now than where I used to live. I was using a friend stereo over there. He had a whole different setup, and I was like, well, man, what's up with Riverside? They don't stack up to Impulse or Blue Note or whatever, with the punch.
Yeah,
and
they're definitely a mixed bag.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't know, I thought maybe it was something I was doing, but
well, and the ones that are cheaper on the Orpheum label. So I think is it Bill Grauer who owned Riverside? Am I getting that name right? So I think there was a point where it was transitioning. He was getting rid of it. I don't know if he had to get rid of it or he was selling it or what, but it transitioned to this holding company called Orpheum, and they have different labels. Those pressings, all the ones I have of those sound fantastic. The vinyl is really nice sounding, and they use the master tapes. And
they kind of a teal label, right?
Yeah, some of them have a teal. Yeah, I think most of them have the teal label. I think there might be some other colors too, and that's the case with Jazzland because Jazzland is same thing as Riverside, just different. So those Orpheum ones sound really good. Those are really good, and they use the master tapes for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And there's a lot too that they reissued in the 60s.
Yep.
That have like different covers and they sound great too.
This is an Orpheum.
Let's see the label. Can you show the label?
Yeah. This is a good record.
You keep your records inside the sleeves?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Well, some are and some aren't. It really depends.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's that kind of green, dark green.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those ones, I have a handful of those, and they're really good, and they're cheaper because I don't know why. I guess because they're not first pressings.
I didn't pay much for this. This is probably another early days of Carolina Soul.
Yeah.
How big of a store is that, David?
Oh, the shop? It's tiny.
Is it?
It's tiny. If you look online, I mean, it's just if you walk in and it's 2 rows of records, one on each side of you, and that is it. And then the counter's in front of you at the end of the walkway. Yeah. That's it.
And how often do they do their auction? Because
their auctions are completely separate from the store.
Okay.
It's its whole other entity. I've talked to the owner there before. He was one time I went up there. He was actually being interviewed by some students at one of the schools there. So I did, I was being very quiet, just searching through records. And then he did his interview, and then I talked to him, and I asked him about I said, I've been buying a bunch of records from you on the eBay. He goes, oh yeah, you go the street behind us and then down a ways. We have our warehouse and our staff there. It's completely separate from the shop. Everything they do is on consignment.
Oh, okay.
When you see those crazy collections they get in, it's all consignment.
Right now I keep on seeing, I looked on their, their Instagram or whatever, and a lot of 45s, but I was really happy to find that Horace Tapscott collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's always nice
because they're buying massive well, people go, like Dylan used to have to go searching for records. Now he doesn't have to do it as much because people go to him.
Right.
Once Carolina Soul got rolling, people just go to them. Like when Greg Wooten sold his collection, he went to Carolina Soul, and he's in LA. I mean, he had to ship all those records to Durham.
Yes.
I mean, that was a very rare collection, but he made bank because everybody's on Carolina Soul jacking up the bids.
Well, that's also true with Jazz Record Center's sale auctions are just through the roof.
Yeah. There's no way shooting in that auction.
That's next level. That's because the old man's got a vault, and he can go out and throw a John Coltrane on there for what did it go for? 50 grand?
Yeah. No, it went for 12.
Go to the back and get another one. I mean, he's got more. I
wanted to comment on a couple of comments. So earlier we were talking about OJC prices, and this person said, "So why do you guys keep paying the prices? You're just making things worse. What are we supposed to do? Just not? I mean, I don't know. Like, if you want to recommend like the end of the world or anything."
I don't really understand this.
Well, he's complaining that if we keep on buying the $200 to $500 records.
Oh.
No.
Well, we were talking about OJCs when we posted that.
Oh, the OJCs that's
it is what it is.
Until the vinyl craze stops.
Yeah.
I actually went through my entire CD collection and purged. I think I ended up purging 25 or 26 CDs. A lot of them were older hard bop Blue Note CDs, the RVG series. Because I have the vinyl now, so I hadn't been playing those CDs. So I took that stack of CDs into Lunchbox, and then I also added in a few soul albums I hadn't been listening to, and I got $200 in credit.
Okay.
So I ended up getting this because talking about expensive records, I was not willing to pay what this was going for. Yeah, because it was $42.99.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not paying. I don't like paying for newer records that much, for that price. But this is, Kevin Gray did the lacquers. It's good. This is good stuff. But
I'm surprised Kevin made it through listening to that.
Exactly.
And so I got that, and then I also I got this off the wall. This is an OG Velvet Underground.
Oh, cool.
I stopped at Stranded a couple of days ago to pick up a pre-order, and they had the Velvet Underground, the banana one.
Oh yeah, well Scott had that too, but he wanted $500.
Oh no, this guy wanted $175. So it looked pretty hammered though.
Oh well, yeah, but
they also had a Cecil Taylor Unit Structures original in mono.
Whoa,
for $1.50. So
that's a good price.
To this comment, there definitely are Riverside pressings that sound good, but a lot of them do not sound good, and I have them. And it's not a condition issue. It's not a mono issue. Some of them I have them in mono and stereo, and they're just, I don't know. They're just. We were speaking with Nick Phillips from Craft, who is part of the reissue team there. He does the box sets. And he even said like Riverside was incredibly inconsistent with where they recorded, when they recorded, how they recorded. it's just so like however like that Bill Evans Waltz for Debbie was recorded. If you compare that to the Jimmy Heath records, like they're probably done like completely different situations. Where when you look at like Blue Note and Prestige, there's a tremendous amount of consistency. It's all Hackensack. It's all Abbey manufacturing, all Plastilite. Where like Riverside was not consistent like that. So you get more variation. And there definitely are good Riversides that sound good. I do have some of those, but
yeah,
I definitely spent a lot of money on like Sam Jones. What is it? I forget the name of it. It's like Blues Society or something. I have both stereo mono first pressings. They're clean. They sound bad.
Yeah.
Jimmy Heath the Thumper. It's okay. It's not a sonic marvel.
Right.
But there are good ones. Like So. And then I did see another.
You might like this CD I got there. Have you seen this? It's called Alien Skin. I picked it up because it had Matthew Shipp and Zoamba on it. I'm a big fan of Matthew Shipp on the piano.
Me too. I got a shitload of them.
Yeah, William Parker bass. And I got to meet Matthew Shipp here like 5 minutes from my house one night. He played Petra's. I couldn't believe it. It was just him and a piano.
There was my Matthew Shipp story. I was in Amoeba here in Berkeley, and I was in town come to see. There was a club called Bean Benders, and it was a thing. Matthew Shipp with William Parker and Bar Phillips doing the solo bass. So I went into Amoeba a couple hours before, and I'm standing looking through the jazz section, and who was there? Matthew Shipp, going through and looking through all of his CDs to see how many he had. So
that's great.
So I know you. So
yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, he was playing this solo stuff that he had just put an album out for. So I bought the CD from him, and it was in my car, and I wouldn't take it out of the car for a while, and it got stuck in my CD player.
Oh God!
So I took the car to the dealership, and the guy at the dealership tore the CD to pieces getting it out. Man, I was so bummed. I was like, oh. So
I've never seen a CD. I've never had a CD get stuck.
Speaking of that, there's a new William Parker on Rogue Art that I just pre-ordered from Downtown Music Gallery called the Data. 2 CDs, that solo piano.
Is it with the white cover with the red line?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That series. It's a great series.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I got quite a bit of them.
I wish they'd do more with the artwork.
Yeah. Well, it looks better in CD as opposed to on vinyl. The vinyl just kind of looks stupid. So.
Right. I mean, there's some great titles on that with like Joshua Abrams and Art Ensemble and.
The Art Ensemble stuff is really good. So there's a Rob and a Jim.
Hey, what's up, Jim?
Yeah, we're probably like it's from my place. So we came from the Hi-Fi show in Orange County.
Yeah, how was it?
It was kind of lame.
Yeah.
But even the marketplace where they sell records is like a third of the people there from last year. It's just, but I did. There was a guy kind of selling his collection. He had kick-ass shit. Like I sent some pictures, but he was pricing all his stuff like crazy, way above. He goes, well, I did it so people would negotiate. And I go, I did buy one record from him. Well, I'll show when I get home in my bag. But it was, yeah. But, we stopped at a hi-fi store, and I picked up some good records there, so.
Can you put some sunglasses, Rob, so we can see how twinsies you and Jim look with your same outfit you're wearing?
Well, you know what? We went on Rachel's Patreon before this.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to tell you this, Chris. She made the same joke. It's true.
Well, I stole it from Jay in the comments. So if he was in the Patreon, then, it's full circle, basically.
Here. Oh, there you go. Well, actually, we went out to get people to join. This is a big announcement. There's the Church of the Jazz Bums, and you have to go on a 2-year mission to get people to join.
Okay.
All right.
Provided by.
Jim, did you pick up
Hey,
anything?
you want to see?
Jim's driving.
I picked
Oh.
up
Well,
one
he's not the
record.
show.
No, wait, here's what Jim picked up.
Oh, yeah.
This hi-fi store. So we went there. We took Mike Notes and Tones there. That's where we picked up a lot of good high-end records. And they had a pair of Harbath speakers that Jim really wanted. And this was like
A year and a half ago.
maybe a year ago, maybe less. It was last year. And you would think the guys they were still there, and Jim made a trade with them. These little bookshelf speakers that are $3,000. So
Nice.
Oh, nice.
but they have. So I had just bought this record online, but I found a white label promo of this John Carter.
Okay, hold on.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Looks like it's
So
a Minecraft cover there.
So I'll figure which one Dave has already asked. So I'll figure which one I'll give up. Then I pick this up.
Rob, Bill, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's
Yours
11.
is terrible.
Well, this is
Cool.
a promo too. This is like that gold, those yellow label Verve promos.
Okay, yeah.
Does anyone know this record? This is Atlantic. Half
No.
of it is Mary Lou
cool.
Williams. And
Mary Lou Williams. Yeah, I know Mary Williams.
yeah, he gave me this free because
Oh, that's great.
These black label Atlantics always seem to play with that old noise.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
Cool.
dude, I have 60 records at home I can show. So
Good.
All right,
we'll see.
awesome. Cool.
Get home.
Get home.
All right, I'll see you in
Okay.
about 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
All right,
All right.
cool.
Actually, a friend of mine sent me a couple pictures that he's down there too.
Well, that's great. I've been looking for that John Carter record for
Yeah.
7 years or something like that.
Yeah, I had it in the old collection. So
Yeah,
I
that's like a
I have never put hands on a copy anywhere.
yeah, they seem to be very hard to find. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, that was back in the day when you had to find them in an actual record store. Now it's or through Cadence. I used to buy a lot of stuff through them.
Oh, through their mail order
Yeah.
out of New York.
Yep.
Yeah,
Redwood, New York.
they're still doing it too.
Oh yeah. In fact, the woman Slim, she goes, she found me on LinkedIn. And she goes, "Oh my God, Nicole, you're still alive." So
Yeah, it's a pricey record.
Oh hell! Don't tell me that.
The ones that are listed, they're.
I need to get the senior citizen discount.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute! I'm the senior citizen of the group. I keep on saying I'm older than.
I might have to pass it off to you, Nicole. Then.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey, Felipe.
Good evening. How you doing?
We're
There's
rocking
our
and rolling.
resident
How are
dentist.
you?
I'm doing good, Nicole. Thanks for asking. How you guys doing?
I heard that there's a big heat wave in Florida, like a cone of heat or something that's happening.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
on the West Coast, isn't it?
You probably get what we had.
Mike, they're
But
talking about this being out in California too, and I keep looking at Sherb's house, and it's like 77 degrees.
Yeah.
in
Well,
Desert.
where
I
is
don't
he
know.
living in LA?
Well, he's just outside of LA in Redlands. Like you're almost to Palm Springs. It's 77 degrees there.
It was 85 3 days ago here in Berkeley. So
It's not that bad.
not that bad.
Yeah.
We have no
Phoenix is already setting all-time heat records. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I think everything's happening more towards Arizona and southern Texas or something. It ain't happening where they're saying it's happening. I don't know. I think everybody's trying to. I don't know.
How can you take
out
it,
of
Chris?
that or-
Yeah.
How
And don't
do you take that heat, Chris?
how do I take heat? I don't go outside during the summer that much. I'm just stay inside.
Yeah.
Too damn hot.
Chris, what's that behind you?
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's a gorgeous.
I was listening to this before.
Hey,
We
Joe Henderson.
Japan, yeah, it's great. Round Midnight on here is really good. It's the first track. Well, I mean, the whole album's great, but
That's one of my favorites from him.
yeah, me too. It's him with 3 Japanese players.
Mhm.
It's more like electric piano and then bass and drums. So nice little quartet.
Nice.
Great LP.
Really clean copy I got too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's weird how some of them are like $300 now. I think I paid $40 for this, so I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, you did great because the way those are now. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got lucky. I'd see those in every time I go to visit my friend in Savannah. I'd go to Grave Face, and they'd always have a grip of those milestones, and I think the most I ever paid one was $30.
Yeah.
You know.
You can probably get a CD for $10. It's gonna sound super clean and nice.
Yeah.
That's no fun, Felipe.
Who cares? CD.
Right?
Give me all your OG Blue Notes, and I'll replace them with CDs, Felipe.
No,
Yeah.
every GCDs they suck.
Yeah, I know that's true.
I purged a bunch of my CDs. They got the heave ho.
Yeah.
Now Dom did send me a record in the mail this week.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Have you guys ever seen this one?
No, of course not. You're
Rolling
showing
Stone,
us.
Isophonic Boogie Woogie.
Looks
No.
kick-ass.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
cool.
it was a private pressing. This is a Japanese reissue from I think 2009. Forced Exposure
Oh yeah.
distributed this, and Honest
gotcha.
John's in London.
Well, what is the music like?
I haven't listened to this yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to get into this. But there's bass clarinet on this.
Oh shit, I'm already in.
Yeah.
Bass clarinet's the best instrument in jazz, bro.
I just got this from.
I also like baritone
Unread
sax is pretty awesome too. I do like
Yeah,
baritone.
I agree.
So bass clarinet is one of the main instruments on Beaches Brew, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Sherv's got an. I think Sherv's got an original, and he didn't pay anything. I think this was the record he was talking about one day. But Dom's getting rid of all of his reissues. So
Okay.
Tell him to do an auction.
yeah, so that's the only one I needed because I'm not going to pay up for an original. They're expensive.
Wow, that's a big move. That's a big move. How many records do you think he'll purge? Any idea?
It's a lot. I mean, there was a good bit in this one stack. Because he's just wanting to narrow in on originals. That's.
I'd be interested in some of those.
I'll be back in just a second. I gotta let my thing.
Yeah, I'll let you know if he does a stream or something, or because sometimes he'll do like selling streams. And
Alex.
or he might put them on his Discogs. Alex might know. But yeah, he's starting to move a lot of that stuff out.
Nice.
What else we got here? Oh, I got one from your Squidco, Nicole.
Oh yeah, what did you get?
Another Aishi Awachi CD.
Oh, cool.
This is a double called Wrong Exit. I love this cover. This is one of my favorites.
That is a great cover.
Yeah, and this I really am digging this guy. He came from the Abe Koru school, and his tone is just, he's just really, really good.
What school did he come from?
The Abe Koru is a pretty intense, free improvised player from Japan.
Japan? Okay.
Yeah, Japan. There's very, very little of this guy recorded and available. There's 2 CDs and a vinyl from Armageddon Nova, and that's it. That's all that's out there that you can get on that I've seen. And Squidco's got all of it.
Good old Squidco.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to look at them once a week instead.
In fact, you're on their email, right?
Yeah, so I switched off a Dusty Groove, and I'm now full on Squidco.
I'm never lucky with the used vinyl on Dusty Groove. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I have not been in a long time.
I used to be. I used to get lucky with their used. I've got some really good rare records from them, and it's like anything else, like Carolina Soul at the beginning of those days, I was all over it, and then Dusty Groove, all of a sudden everybody was on it, and so.
Well, I've been using Dusty Groove mostly for pre-orders that are outside the United States.
Yeah.
Like they'll and their prices are really fair. Like
They are, and they get everything.
Yeah, so like you don't. I don't know how they do it, but they're able to sell those things at like what they would cost in the country they come from.
Yeah, they have good distribution.
This is
Means.
this one was announced today on Bandcamp from Fidelity.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Oh wow, cool artwork.
William Parker with Ellen Christie vocals.
Nice.
Yeah,
very cool.
So vinyl and CD on it. So.
Oh wow, going all
What's
out.
it? Is it up for pre-order or is it shipping?
Pre-order.
Okay, that's very cool.
There's a lot of great stuff on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Yep.
These days coming, and I put some on my wish list. Let me share here.
Does Bandcamp have like a cart like Discogs does?
That's what I like about Bandcamp better than Discogs, because you put in a wish list.
Yeah.
You don't have to jam your cart. You don't have to like feel tempted to just check out all the time.
Right.
You can listen to those things entirely. If it's not a pre-sale, of course, and then it's just there. And then you just move to your. That's what I like about Bandcamp. It's simpler in a sense, but I think it's more effective, and you don't feel like being pressured to check out your card all the time.
Right.
And
that's cool.
And some releases, I mean, everything that's limited in number, they tell you how many left there are. So
yeah.
I don't use it enough to. I mean, I use it sometimes, especially with some of these rock.
I think it's great, and the phone app, you can even like works with Apple CarPlay, whatever it's called. So you can just there's a nice interface. Just you can be play like Tidal or your room or whatever. It also shows a nice interface with the Tidal and cover. It's super good, very nice to navigate. And it separates on you put like your favorites. It separates what you bought from your wish list, so there you can navigate both. It's really good.
And the only caution there is with Bandcamp. If you do have a bunch of shit in your cart and you go check out, you don't pay attention, you'll buy it all instantly.
Yes,
that happened to me twice. I bought like 6 records accidentally. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And the only issue with the Bandcamp app is that, let's say you're using different browsers or different devices, it does not sync.
Yeah,
that's a problem. If I'm checking Bandcamp on my Safari browser and I'm doing it on my Chrome browser, I'm doing it on my phone, the cards are going to be completely different. They're not.
Really?
They're not going to sync. Yes, they should work on that for sure.
Yeah,
I only use Chrome just to get onto StreamYard.
Yeah,
that's what I use Chrome to get onto this. Yeah.
So what I do, I just jam everything into my wish list, and I see every couple of days, I want this now, I want that now, and I just keep going.
Oh, CJ, I think that's the exact opposite of the truth, personally.
What's that?
CJ's saying Bandcamp is cool, but I feel like one needs to know what they're looking for.
No, I mean, if you like a label, you can sign up to get notificated from that label. So there's going to be a huge, and every week, every month, they have what's the newest stuff coming out there. So.
The reason I say that is if you do know something on Bandcamp that you like, there's lots of other people that liked it, and it'll show you things that they enjoyed as well that you can kind of go down the rabbit hole exploring.
Exactly, and they're gonna the suggestions on Bandcamp are like musically related. They're actually relevant. It's not like Spotify sends you like a robot, Spotify band to like relate.
Right. Yep.
It has to be a really good thing, and and even chip in. I mean, you can just buy the downloads, even if you don't want to listen to them. At least you can chip in like $7-8 for a digital record just to help the artist that you like. Maybe they're gonna put that on vinyl if you're waiting for the vinyl, or if you're just gonna be streaming all the time. At least you help them.
Yeah,
Felipe,
this is a good.
Did you get that Tom Skinner through Bandcamp?
Which one?
The Tom Skinner.
Yes.
Okay. And you said that's on the way for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's coming. I think I should be getting tomorrow or Monday. It's
Oh,
going to
great.
depend on
Yeah.
speed.
I will tell
They-
you that I've listened to it twice. I don't know how I'm going to have anything else come out this year that's going to top it for me. It's incredible live
Yeah,
performance.
there's a lot of stuff. I'm actually everything that I'm getting this year. I'm kind of writing down and thinking about, because otherwise, and I also saw the Circling Suns is recording. They are actually recording a new record. So I'm wondering when it's going to come out, and
Mhm.
it's probably going
You
to be.
should reach out to them, Felipe, see if we can interview a couple of them.
We have been in talks. We go back and forth, but hopefully at some point it's going to work.
Yeah.
So I want to answer this question.
King of
Hang on.
Loyola agrees with me.
I want to answer this question real quick. So
Oh,
no, you
no.
can't selection
No.
on Bandcamp.
Oh,
It'll show
no.
what you.
Was that
Yeah.
the one you're
I
talking
guess I
about?
can't answer the question.
No.
Which one? I'm.
The Skinner,
Yeah.
the live at Moo.
Yeah, Live at Moo, yes.
Here it is, Nicole.
This record is crazy good, man. This record is crazy good.
The double
Is
LP.
that one- what label is that?
It's on International Anthem.
Oh, International Anthem. Okay.
It's incredible. In the
Yeah.
side C, the groove they get into on side C,
Yeah.
near
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of mid song on.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, no.
it's kind of all of the above. They have new artists, they have new music, and
And
small
old stuff.
level to do reissues.
Like when I've searched for old like ECMs, and they're like, or a lot of the Brotsman stuff is like the FMP stuff. All that stuff I get from like I can stream on Bandcamp.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
well,
you
not
can.
all. I don't know if all of it. That might be, but a lot of
I
the
mean-
FMP stuff that I search for that I can't find anywhere else, it'll
Yeah.
be available there, and you could purchase it for you could get a digital copy.
I mean,
That's
even Bandcamp has. I mean, even big labels have stores on Bandcamp, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just digital, but you can't.
Wow.
Like bands
Yeah,
like
Bandcamp's
Sonic
great.
Youth, Sonic Youth has like a Bandcamp store. You buy like a lot of old concerts and stuff. Everything is there.
yeah,
And I think the great thing about Bandcamp compared to Discogs is just you just prefer to buy and discover. Again, I think the discovery side on Bandcamp is really good because they really direct you to good stuff. And
well, Discogs really is like a used marketplace. I mean, it doesn't have
no,
to be. I mean,
it's
you could use it however you want as a seller. Like you could be a band and just sell on Discogs if you.
yeah,
want,
I mean, Discogs used to be a repository, and then they opened a marketplace like years after they had started, right? So
yeah.
I'm not a fan of Discogs. I'm just not a fan of Discogs. I don't know what I can't see the records. I don't trust many people. And man,
Dude, seeing a potato picture on eBay doesn't do any good either.
yeah, I think the cool thing about Discogs is just like you can just buy at your fingertips anything all over the world. Right?
Granted, I use it.
That's a cool thing. But it's something that we were discussing earlier today, right? In our chat. I think it's cool, but at the same time, I like to. Okay, I'm willing to pay X for this release if I ever find it.
Okay.
I don't want to go crazy Discogs price for it. So and going to my record store, because when you're Discogs, you're focused. You want to get that print or that pressing from that year or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's super cool to go to your store and have like their random find, right?
Yes,
and something that you've never heard before is playing it. So you go to the country, what you're playing there. I want a copy. I think that's the coolest part. And usually it's going to be cheaper than Discogs.
But I think
Chris.
Well, I was just going to say, I think, yes, Felipe, I agree, but it's not. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Like Discogs offers a service, and you can find good deals on it. And one instance, like I've been getting in all this Norman Granz stuff. My local places don't have any of that stuff. So, like, if I want to collect it, it's like that is a source. And I've been going through like everything that's been listed. And I found like a bunch of good like VG plus copies listed for very competitive by sellers who are very highly rated. So like you can use it like that too. So I just feel like you can use, everybody's a little different. Like Felipe, the store that you go to, if I had access to that, I would
Yeah.
100% be using
absolutely.
that.
But
And Rob, Rob in LA.
Well,
with all
as someone who sells a lot on Discogs, and I'll say this to Dave, ask the people for video of the record playing.
yeah, this I always ask. Yeah, picture.
If the seller won't send it to you, then deem them
I
immoral.
asked for pictures of the record. The last 10, probably 0 have actually emailed me the record.
Yeah, I do that with
They
rare
just-
records. Like the
Sometimes
Gene
they
Lee.
do, but a lot of times they don't.
In fact, in my
got
descriptions
pictures.
on my records on Discogs, I say video of play and pictures available upon request. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Now
do
I've
like
done
that.
this. I've
Mhm.
the Gene Lee, the rare Gene Lee record.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah,
just-
I do it for unless it's sealed. I do it for every record.
I know.
Yeah.
There's
So
two rare pressings, right?
Exactly.
Hey,
Two different
look,
first pressings. And they sent me photos, and they had it listed completely wrong, and they still wanted $300.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But just to catch back on a couple of things here.
And then Chris, your
yeah.
favorite thing. I'm looking at a rare record the other day. It's a $200 record. Somebody's got one for 30 with
Yeah.
a good G plus as
Exactly.
the vinyl grade and a VG plus as the cover grade. So I look in the
Right.
comments. It goes plays VG plus.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
some people know what they're doing, some people don't. And just
Man.
to confirm,
It's starting to get it's starting to tilt towards more of the scams and the people that don't know what they're doing.
Not really.
no,
it's not.
I don't think so. Hang on. I think
It's what I'm looking for.
if you
rough
just
and free.
if you could just like personal examples, pointy things, I think no, I don't think. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't think it is. I think in the gross things work, but sometimes I have a bad experience. I had bad experience. Everybody had,
You can have a bad experience from a store. So,
Well, I'll give you an example, because the scammers are getting clever. Well, the scammers are getting clever. So like, I was looking through my New Jazz search, and Jackie McLean's Long Drink of the Blues came up, which is a very expensive record, and it came up. I think it was like $75, and it said it was VG plus condition. So I was like, oh, this might be a good deal here. I click into it. The seller had 4 reviews. So I click into the reviews, and it's all the same person from the same day that this thing got listed.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went to his seller page, and he's picking like not obvious titles, but all these titles that are worth like, a little bit of money, but he's just like undercutting it. And he's probably going to get a few people to buy in because they're impulsive and they're going to do it. And that's what they're looking for. But like, you have to kind of like, for a minute, I was like, this could be legit. Like, I don't know, like he has 100% reviews, but you kind of have to dive in and kind of evaluate it. And then you're like, okay, this doesn't add up. There's no way this is the case. But like, I would say like, if you look at how much I buy on Discogs, like my review, like my rating is 100%, and it's like probably close to 200 reviews, which that's probably a fraction of what I've purchased. Like I buy a shitload on this. Like most of my collection is coming in from Discogs. And yes, there is a small percent where sometimes, like I got a classical record recently, just like this week, that Steve Hoffman recommended. It was like a $5 record. He was like, just get this. I got a VG plus copy. It came in the condition. If I showed you this, like it's ridiculous that they listed it for VG plus. The top seam entirely split. Bottom sleeve half split. There's a split on the spine. The record is totally scuffed up, and there's 2 feelable. Like it's not even close.
You should have Bob Beer instead.
So I messaged the seller and I told him this, and I said, look, this is how I do it every time. I go, hey, hate to bother you about this. This was listed as VG plus. This is how it came. Can I please have a refund? He refunded me the $12. No questions. I don't have to return it, and it's fine. So like that does happen. And honestly, like, I never give negative review. Like I gave him a positive review about that, even though you could argue he either shouldn't get a review or he should get a negative review. But he refunded me, no questions asked, was no problem. So
the good thing is you can use PayPal, and so.
Yeah.
But for me, I look at every review. Somebody was talking about look at the reviews.
I do.
Believe me, if I see any sign, I mean the littlest, if there's one neutral, I'm probably not going to buy from this moron.
Well,
that's fair.
So
That's
here's
fair.
the thing.
Hold on. Can I say something? When I sent those records to Mike, After I gave him his $12 back, I gave him a bad review. Nitpicky bastard. They let me keep bastard on there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do feel like it is like something where like when I do reach out to them and like tell them there's an issue and they see that my rating is what it is and the number it is, like the amount of reviews that have been positive, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not trying to scam people. Like, this was truly a fucked up grading. Like this, I would not have bought this. No way. If this is what it was listed for. So, you know, they were cool about it. And they, again, like they were probably like 96.
I think they disapprove that.
His dogs hate him.
Yeah, I mean, so what, to my point about that, Dave, is that, yeah, look at the reviews. I usually don't buy from anyone that has anything less than damn near a perfect score.
Exactly.
But I also don't buy $300 records on Discogs. I just don't. That's not my thing. So, you know, I'm buying $20, $30, $40 records.
Yeah, so
I'll
you're
roll the dice.
I have 100% rating on Discogs and
Finish
eBay.
the sentence. Anyway,
I have on.
Go ahead, Rob.
no, I'm just gonna say I've probably bought 150 records on Discogs, or maybe 500, and I've had like 2 that I had to get a refund for. So, you know. Anyway, what's up, Rob?
No, but even I've had people complain, and I've given them full refunds, and I have 100% rating.
That's
I like
something
to
hard,
think, and sometimes I just say keep the record, and I give them back their money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but then there are people like I sold a record where the guy side 2, song 2 has a distortion in it. It's like, dude, really?
Yeah, go talk to the whoever.
Yeah, you didn't record the album, Rob.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I will buy VG Media records if there's a description that talks about why they're listing it as VG and they're a good rating, because like it could be something that's pretty minor. It's like on side 2, there's like a couple clicks or whatever, and they're just being hypersensitive. And it's like, I'm fine with that. Like, you know, this is the only copy available and it's a good price. And it's like, I'm getting this.
I mean, a couple of clicks is a VG plus record, though, generally.
But if it's VG, like, so I'm just saying the description matters to me. Like if it says VG, no description, and their ratings are like 92.8.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and then so I'll go exactly. So that is like suspect. Like that probably really is a VG record. You know,
I generally
there's no deal to be had.
I will say this: it's easy to distinguish between a store and an individual that's selling on there.
right.
Yeah.
You can distinguish that. And then I honestly have better luck with Japanese sellers than I do American. I don't know what it is. They get the records to me faster. I live 8 miles from Noble Records, 8 miles exactly. And I can get a record here faster from Tokyo in the mail than from Dillon. Because Dillon goes to the Monroe post office. They mail it an hour and a half north to Greensboro. Then Greensboro sends it to Charlotte. Charlotte sends it to Gastonia, back to Charlotte, to my house.
I think I know someone that ships a little slower than that, but
Hey, Dave, can I ask a question? When you pick up the phone, do you ask Sarah to call someone for you?
Ask who?
Geez, no one watches the Andy Griffith show?
No, we're not
you
700 years
disappoint me.
old, man. The fuck?
I did see Andy Griffith's personal guitar in the Wilson Library the other day.
Oh yeah, Dave, you went to Chapel Hill recently. Is that right?
No, it's coming up again.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I went before, but I'm going to go see Kim Gordon at the Cat's Cradle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be at the Wilson Library again that morning. I'm meeting with the curator there, and I actually finalized my will today with my attorney. And so my actual 78 collection will be housed at that library when I pass.
Do we get your records, or
they'll get the 78s? They're not going to get anything else.
Is there something wrong with you right
Donated
now?
to the Jazz Bums.
No. I just what there was. I was in the hospital for a month last year, and so I started the process just in case, you know. So I'm fine now, but that's all finished, and so those records will go in the Southern Folklife collection at UNC Chapel Hill.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I've requested to view some materials that morning, but then I'm gonna also let them know that that's gone down, and so they'll be prepared for that if that comes to pass. Hopefully in 50 years, but we'll see.
Hey, hey, Paul, are you leaving your record collection to a library?
Well, also, like we've spoken about Banana Records in Florida before, and I bought in Strata East Records from them, VG, and they come in and they look perfect. So, like
Yep.
some people's VG are like, in my opinion, like completely acceptable for me. Not a mark on it. So I didn't even know like how they and it's consistent. Like I have bought multiple Strata East from them, and it's always like VG. And I don't know why they're grading it that, but the prices are reflective of that grading. So it's
Bananas
a good deal.
is fantastic. They are one of the sellers that I love on Discogs.
Yeah,
Mike,
for
you
sure.
are nail head.
And
they
there
have
are others
great
like
records.
that too.
They
Yeah.
price very conservatively. Yeah, I've gotten records from them, and they're very fast to ship, and they ship well.
Yeah.
Bananas they're out of what? St. Pete.
Yeah, but I think
Clearwater.
Okay. They're north of Tampa, right?
No, they're actually west of Tampa, towards the coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big place.
It's huge. They have like a huge like basement. It's huge.
Aren't they one of the largest in volume in the country? Bananas?
I am not sure, Dave, but they're huge. They usually put on Instagram or their YouTube pages like huge, like nice videos going over the store. It's plus the storage. You don't even know what's in there. It's just like huge. It's ridiculous.
Felipe, do you want to talk about what you referenced a minute ago?
Sorry,
shipping?
Chris?
Do you want to talk about the slow shipping?
If you want to talk, I'll go. I'll help you out.
Okay.
all right, let's burn the barn down. Do it, Chris.
Yeah. Fuck Rhino, okay?
We're talking about Rhino, obviously. So
Yeah.
Felipe actually finally got his copy of Sabbath today, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I got
and when
my
did you order it?
May 17, and today is like June 7, so it's like 20 days.
Yeah.
Did you come in ship shape or damage?
No, it came fine, Rob. When the records got home, my folks were here. They opened the box, so I didn't see the actual box, but the records are intact.
It was a shitty box.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing all types of boxes people are posting. So I don't know. I saw a guy in London that got a box, and Chris in Texas didn't get his yet.
Yeah.
I think that the point is, if you're like reputable, you're a big label since like the 80s, 90s, whatever, and you can handle 5,000 records, and you sell online for many years already. I think this is pretty crappy, shady, shitty, whatever you want to call it. People are getting the record shipped because they're complaining. It's ridiculous. It's simple.
Yeah,
no, I don't think. But okay, Roberto, could be first world problems, but in Brazil, I buy records in Brazil, some that you get included, right? They're shipped like in a couple of days. They're not shipped like
in your face, Roberto.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so it should, especially because a logistics thing. You guys have the resources, you have the fuel, have the trucks, whatever. Okay, you own the plants. There's even less of an excuse to be so crappy, to be so low, so bad. Okay, I got my copies, and I'm talking about by myself. I'm talking about a lot of people that haven't received theirs yet, and they're still waiting and just waving in the breeze. And I'm sorry we're late, dude. Honestly, get your shit together. That's it.
I said this on Rachel's stream this morning. I think that whole Rhino Hi-Fi is a joke.
Yes.
From every level is a joke. I have two of the records. The way they do things, this label is a joke. The label is a joke. Everything about it compared to they're trying to be like is a joke. And horrible introduction. How many records in are they?
Probably a dozen or so.
And most of them are sitting in their warehouse. They're a joke, right? I bet you the regular Rhino people are not involved with this nonsense. It's a joke.
Well, I mean, I don't know about. I don't know if I go that far, but I mean, I do think it's a joke the way they're treating their customers.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 20 days isn't that bad. I can buy a record for fucking Afghanistan and get it by Yak.
Can you do it? Let's play a game. I'll chip in.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like 20 days is ridiculous with no communication. That's the whole thing, right?
Hold on. Why did you pick Afghanistan? Why did you pick Afghanistan?
I don't know. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I bought shit from like, Sweden that took shorter time to get.
But even to use Roberto, who sent me a record, it took quicker than the Rhino did. There you go, Roberto.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a mess. It's a mess. I mean, if you can do it, don't do it. Just simple. If you can do it, don't do it.
I mean, I'm not like super angry. It's just And here's a comparison, right? So I finally got yesterday after almost 20 something days. Hey, sorry we haven't shipped your record yet. Here's a 10% off coupon for your next purchase.
So you can wait another 20 days for another record.
It's not even retail. 10% off is not even what you could get at a regular record store.
Well, you can't buy these at a regular record store, period. So
can you highlight John Bandy's comment, please?
We already did.
So John Bandy, mine came with a nice seam split, and I reached out to them just like you and said, hey, I have a seam split. And they go, oh, this was their natural response. We're sorry about that, but we no longer have replacement covers or any replacements. Here, I've attached a FedEx slip. Just mail it back to us and we'll give you a refund. And I go, my response was, well, first of all, it's a very in-demand record. It is sold out. Why can't you just offer me some sort of refund? Oh, okay. Here's 25% refund. Just even the customer service is just warped. It's nonsense.
Yeah. The only thing I'll add, because I haven't purchased any. I've been gifted one, the Ornette Coleman. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
it's all bots. It's not people talking to you.
But
you have vinyl, please, is better.
I think.
Nicole, did yours arrive okay?
You
Let Mike talk.
Not real, Felipe?
Yeah.
Let Mike talk. He's trying to make a point.
Sure.
Yeah,
I buy a lot of stuff from Europe.
Let Michael talk. Mike.
Yeah. Well,
Mike, have the mic.
Thank you, Felipe. The only thing I'll just say is that it seems like this is like a trend, like right off the bat with the cars and Coltrane. There were issues with boxes and people getting stuff that was dinged. It's like we're now like many months into this process. Customer service has notoriously been unresponsive from the beginning, and it's like it seems like they're incapable of adjusting, and this is just going to be how the quality control is for when they ship from their warehouse and they deal with customers. Because I feel like if they were capable of changing things, it would have occurred by now. They would have learned and adjusted. So it's not like this. Black Sabbath is. I mean, we're into the catalog now. Like these issues have already happened many times and notable times before, where people on many streams, many channels have discussed this, and they're very aware of it. So I just feel like if they could change it, they would have by now. So I don't know who's running it, but perhaps they need to bring some other people in to help get this going in the right way.
Yeah. I think it's neither willing nor able. Simple, period.
Like United Quality Control?
Dude, this is a really good point. So AJ says the fact that they charge for shipping and take a month to ship is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And it's not like it's media mail $5 shipping. It's like $10.
Yeah, but they're saying they're working with you since like last year.
That's come FedEx.
Like 10 months.
Isn't it FedEx? It's not even media mail.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gotten a shipping from them yet. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm gonna have a lot more patience than a lot of people because I didn't care how long it took.
I think it's not about patience, Nicole. I'm sorry. I think it's like you say something is in stock, you're ready to ship. It's like 5,000. It's not like the iPhone 20, right? You're not like rolling up like 20 million units. It's like 5K, and it's something that you know it's gonna sell out.
And this is Rhino, so like JMI with Plum, they initially wanted to get it out early in the year. They're a small 2-person operation. They're doing everything by themselves. and this is the first box that they put out. So grant them the grace that they need to deal with listening to test pressings, making sure everything's correct, dealing with multiple entities to bring it all together and ship it correctly. I have no problem with that. I have not a single problem with JMI. Rhino is a corporation that is a machine. Like, tap into your resources and like get these logistics sorted.
Exactly.
It's just surprising that they're not taking advantage of those efficiencies and opportunities with something as high profile as these releases. Like, these are things that like the reason why people are upset, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't order the Black Sabbath, but this is a title that is in demand that people have been asking for years. You know.
Yeah. Plus, you know, for some people, just say, first world problems. I don't care, because you buy like 2 or 3, 5 records a week, right? Some people, it's probably what they can get in a whole month. They are really waiting for it, saving money. It's not cheap. If you put together, it's like $55 shipping in Texas, kind of.
That's not true. Roberto, that's not true. He got it a couple weeks ago.
You know, so you gotta respect those people. You know, they're saving money to buy it. They're really waiting. They're the actual fans. They're not getting, you know, whatever.
Well, look, I have a question for anyone out there, because it is Warner Brothers. It's a corporation. Has anyone bought from the Rhino store before and had the same problems?
No.
Okay. Do we know that the hi-fi is done by a different team completely?
I have no idea. This was a really good point, John Bandy.
Yeah.
So he bought the Plum. I wasn't reading it, but it's okay. Yeah, you buy Plum from JMI. They give you a free record, great packaging, you know, and then you don't have to have a weekly meeting to find the bubble wrap. Yeah, because I mean, I guess they were on. You're muted, Mike, if you're talking.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Chris, you had a really good point when we were talking on the phone the other night about Blue Note when they were delayed.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, this is an extreme example, but Blue Note had that big sale last Christmas, and they got so many orders they weren't able to ship in time for Christmas. And everybody's order that didn't get shipped in time for Christmas, they just refunded the whole thing and sent you the records for free. Now, I don't expect anybody to do that necessarily, like Rhino to do that, but a 10% discount on your next purchase is kind of bullshit. Like, why would I make a next purchase? You know?
Yeah, when I ordered the that Lee Morgan big box set, you know, the Lighthouse, the box, not the outer box, but the actual box of the records were, you know, it was kind of not right. It was kind of
that might explain it from down right there.
And I just basically, and I wrote to them, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll replace it, whatever that did." But it took forever for them to do it, and I had to call them, you know, a few times to get it straightened out.
Yeah, I think Dom, I think this is you're probably absolutely right, but the communication piece is really difficult. I just feel like go on Westminstream, talk to the people, explain the situation. I think reasonable people will be able to hear you out, and it just seems like the idea that their communication is none or very limited, unless you like write them an email where you're, you know, you have to kind of like summarize like how upset you are, like that shouldn't be like a hoop that people have to jump through. Just say like you're having issue, like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like there are ways to handle this because there are clearly a lot of people upset.
Yes,
I agree with you, Max. We do have a choice, and so this kind of treatment would make me less likely to buy from them again in the future. Whereas, you know, somebody like Chad, love him or hate him, if you have a problem, generally, their customer service is excellent.
Yeah.
When they don't ask you to destroy records, they can't replace. But beyond that,
Also, Rhino, if you're listening, do that Ted Curson on Atlantic, please.
That'd be cool. Yes, thank you.
That ain't happening. Not a chance.
But that's good. Yeah, let's vent off a little bit. It's good.
Did
Rob,
Loki
you got a few records there? You got a few records up there?
I have like 2 weeks of records I got from Seattle and just mixed of everything.
So does Mike.
Just one last thing before we move on. This is a jazz stream, so the fact that a Black Sabbath delay is getting people so upset that it's infiltrating this stream,
It's
there's
because
probably people that are way more upset than us.
Well, I just want it to be clear. I don't care about when my Black Sabbath comes. I want my freaking Ornette Coleman and John Coltrane records. That's what I'm really waiting for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna sell that Black Sabbath anyway.
Look, it's not Black Sabbath. It's customer treatment. We're all heavy high end record buyers, and the attitude I think most people have is just we've come accustomed to good customer service, right?
That's fair. Yes.
So,
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Rob, you want to show some stuff?
so today everyone knows me and Jim went down to the Hi-Fi show in Costa Mesa. It was a shelf itself. There were a few good dealers there. I wanted to take video, Felipe, because Rockaway was there, and I think you would have bought everything they had. They had test pressings of Music Matters. They had Music Matters. They were priced high. I just felt I would have got your hopes up, but I'm sure they're selling all that stuff on their website. But you would have bought everything they had.
Cool.
So I did pick this up. This is a upgrade copy. This is Joanne Brackeen on that Bob James Tappan Sea label that was on Columbia. And this is Eddie on here with her is Jack DeJohnette and Eddie Gomez. So this is a kick-ass record. I'll probably put my other copy in my
How much was that one?
None of her stuff is bad, I think.
I'll be right back.
Okay. No, absolutely.
So there was a guy there selling off his collection like doubles, and the dude had killer shit, and he was pricing it way high. It was like my wife made me do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he did. I've seen this record. Someone shown it, and he had this at a good price. And I talked him down. Does anyone know this?
No, I know a lot of the players, but
so basically, from what I gather, it's really a Jack Wilson record. This is a live recording from the late 60s, and I think this kind of came out in the 70s.
So it's piano trio, basically?
It's not trio. There's more on here than trio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here it is. You got Jimmy Smith on drums. Wait, it is, I guess. It is a trio. Never mind.
Yeah.
But
it's a live record, it looks like, too.
But he sold it to me cheap. But this thing ranges in price from like 30 to 150. So I don't know. Huh?
What label is it on?
It is on, it looks like a private press. So
RGB?
I think there's Japanese versions of this. So
okay.
It's all over.
Yeah,
I'll show you the label. But I swore someone has shown this.
Label.
Yeah, does anyone know this? Because I swear I've seen someone show this. All right.
No.
Mike, do you have this? Because I picked up another copy of it.
No. I have a rendition of the Firebird, but not that copy.
This is supposed to be very good. I have 2 copies. Let me know. And obviously I showed this in the car. Why? Here, I'll show the label.
Rob, we looked that up. That is an expensive record.
I didn't pay that for both copies I have.
And
Dave will.
And it's a test pressing. That's amazing.
That's fucking awesome.
It's a white label promo.
Same thing. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I'm not going to charge Dave what it goes for.
Yay.
You're an all right type of guy. Don't let anybody tell you different.
But don't get you're comfortable there, pal.
I'm going to charge you more than it goes for.
All right. I picked this up in Seattle at Easy Street, which I feel their prices are high. But this was a good price for this record.
Nice.
It's a great record. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really cool record.
And it has, it's just a duo.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before, Rob?
I streamed it. So a lot of these records I haven't even cleaned and listened to because I got home. All right. So we know I thought I might have shown this.
You did, I think.
So I picked it up because this is only sold once. And it's a mispress, and you can't go wrong. Half of it's Albert Eiler, and the other half is this. I have a Italian early 2000s of this Ronnie Boykins, but this got to be one of the more valuable ESP discs, right, Dave?
Yeah, it is. I would have bought it point blank. even though
Yeah.
it's only got one side.
And it looks very nice and clean. And but I think a real version of this goes for what?
$300
$300, yeah. So
Yeah.
I picked that up.
for a nice copy.
Yeah. I'm just sorting through some stuff. I'll tell you what. There's a store in Seattle called Daybreak, and in their kind of dollar cheap bin, the records are clean as shit. So
isn't Daybreak the place that's a garage?
Yes, and they had good records on the wall. They like the heavy sounds I wanted to get. They had it for $200, but this record is not a $5 record.
Yep.
So and it's nice and clean.
Nice.
So how can something be clean as shit exactly? How does that work?
Listen, man, you don't come from the streets like
you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember in a Happy Gilmore when Shooter goes up to Happy and he's like, "I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast," and then Billy goes, "Do you eat pieces of shit for breakfast?"
This is clean.
Oh shit!
This was
cool.
there. Yeah.
No, that's great. Are you keeping that one?
A lot. I've separated some stuff I'm going to sell, but if you're interested,
Yeah, if it's clean, I'd be interested.
I'm not keeping this one. I picked it up because Matt, I have it already, and this is not.
Yeah.
But finding this pretty clean.
Didn't you say you don't like it though?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm not going to cause trouble. Can you just delete Marky Lastman because we know who that is?
Yeah, we're not going to have if you
come on.
dude.
And I think if this person decides to come in and disrupt stuff, I'm going to point it out, but I'm not
Frank, it's
angry
fine.
and stream. Okay. So this is a good record. I think half of it is really good.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. This was interesting. I think this is the only time this ever came out. It was not a reissue. So this is a Paul Bley record with Steve Swallow and Roca. And it came out, it was recorded in the early 60s, but this came out in the early 80s.
Anything with Pete LaRocca is cool.
And this is a Van Gelder remaster reissue, I think.
Well, Steve Swallow was on Basra with him too.
This isn't one of the Van Gelders. But this I picked this up blind. So I think it's a little more.
Looks clean.
No, it's clean as shit, man.
Yeah.
This was $5.
Oh, that's great. That's a mono? Is that the
Volume
mono?
7. I didn't know they had Volume 7. Huh.
This is
Yellow label, Deep Groove.
Deep Groove.
Nice. Yeah, it's the mono. Very nice.
Clean as shit.
Those early, that's like a 57 Shelly Man or 58 or something like that. Those are like my favorite Shelly Mans. Yeah,
good
those
lineup.
are good. Yeah, those are good.
All right.
You were right though. That first one's boring.
So I went into
the Black Hawk. What is it? The one that?
I think the problem with that, I think Volume 3 is my favorite of that. I think Volume 1 is a little boring. They do.
The first tune. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yes,
it's like a beautiful ballad, but it's so fucking slow.
The first tune is from Porgy and Bess. What is it? It's Summertime. They do summer.
Yeah,
it's summertime.
I mean, it's beautiful, like I said, but I was expecting, Shelly Man and some.
Yeah. No, it's not the strongest first one. Okay, sorry, Rob.
Good.
No. It's here to spark conversation.
Okay.
So there's a record store called High Voltage. One of the larger record stores in Seattle. It's in Tacoma, but their prices are very high, and they got in a jazz collection with killer stuff. In fact, I was debating on getting that. There's a record. The saxophone Charles McPherson with the tiger on the cover. But I think they were having that for more than it goes for. But this was the one record kind of was what it goes for. This Charles Sullivan,
Nice.
which is a Strata East record, but I don't know other examples of Strata East record like a year later being put out on Inner City.
Yeah.
This is like, I think this came out in 75 on Strata East, and this is 76, I think. So this was $40. I think this is for around what it goes for.
Nice.
And I'm sure the original Strata East goes for a lot more than this.
Yeah, that's a keeper.
Yeah.
That's really
all
cool.
right. I didn't. So there's another one called Jive Time, which I'll show you something I got there. That's a good store. Their prices are fair. I picked up this, but I didn't realize this is the same. This is Cobblestone.
Yes.
This is the same as the Muse one with the footprints, different titles.
But that would have been the first
Wow.
press.
Yeah, this is the first press. So I'm going to sell my one with the footprints.
Wait, you have the other one?
Hmm?
What is the other one? What is the other one? The Muse?
It has the red footprints. Like,
Yeah, is it clean? Is it in decent shape?
oh yeah.
I'll
Killer.
buy it from you. I'll buy that one from you because I don't have any Pat Martino. I wanted to get
Who-
into it. So.
Pat Mart, and this is, I didn't know from the other one, this is kind of dedicated to Wes Montgomery.
Oh.
If there's a, I think in the Rick Bianco interview of George Benson, him and Pat Martino were good friends.
What is
Yeah.
Bobby Ross? Bobby Ross plays piano? Is that what he's playing?
Bobby Rose plays second guitar. It's
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Look at that.
No piano.
Cool.
Oh,
Very
cool. Yeah,
You have
I'll
this one,
look forward to that.
Do I have? Yes. In fact, yeah, I just saw it. I had an extra copy, but that's really good.
This is really, really good.
All the Muse, Cobblestone, Bobby, Pat Martino's are good. All right, so when I went into the store, they were playing this record, and I go, "Wow, that sounds really good." And he goes, "Yeah, it's a black bee, Frankenstein with a DMM cover,
Oh, weird.
$15.
Oh, I just thought about that all day.
White bee.
That's
Nice.
cool.
It's not Van Gelder.
Yeah,
It's-
That's okay.
yeah. But that's pretty. That's a copy I had before I got an OG, and then I sold.
Yeah,
my
this
copy.
sounds amazing
Yeah, that's cool.
because I have a French DMM. That's the copy I have.
Felipe, how
Does
does
that
it compare?
come out on the
How does it
classic
compare to
series
the? Oh, sorry.
So my OG is mono, and I have the Music Matters also. I mean, there's no way you can
Okay.
compare those. It's just
Yeah.
like
Okay.
it's like
Yeah,
miles ahead.
the DMMs, I don't mind them. It's a little bright. This is rich and warm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Makes
this is a very good copy. It's a very good copy.
Okay. So
Real
here's
quick,
another.
real quick. I wanted to ask a question. Has that come out on the classic series already? I can't remember.
Yeah, it came out like a month or
Yes.
two ago, I think.
I don't know if I bought it or not. I'll have to figure that out. But I wanted to respond to Arthur's comment about the Louis Armstrong and Ella
Yeah.
organ Bus is incredible. I have a copy. I don't know if it's stereo or not though, but it is a wonderful record.
I
And
have
Arthur,
it.
welcome to the stream. I know that you were part of the Classical Bums stream, so very cool that you're back.
Yeah. This will be better than that one.
No.
So, hey, Arthur, also, I picked up, maybe I showed it, in the early 80s or late 70s, Verve did a twofer campaign where Robert Ludwig mastered all of them. And I have the two of Porgy and Bess. That thing sounds great. All of those, like this is one of them right here. This Bud Powell. They have pictures like this. They're the Robert Ludwig mastered reissues.
Oh,
So a lot of Mario.
It's a good.
I think I might have an OG that's on there that I'm going to show tonight.
Nice.
Okay. A lot more records, people.
Nice
So,
tease.
okay, so this is.
Mm.
I thought this wasn't. It was one of those black market cobblestone reissues.
Yeah.
What?
This-
What the hell is that?
No. This is an OG, like they're like Scorpios.
Oh, weird.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, this is an OG. This is an OG. This came out. This is originally Buddha on Cobblestone, and RCA also did a cover of issue of this where it's sort of him sitting like a side profile. But this is a kick-ass record. It's kind of soul jazzy. He has another one on Cobblestone Muse that's more avant-garde free jazz, but it's a killer lineup of people on here. I mean, it just says that down here on the bottom. This doesn't go for a ton of dough. Well, it
That's
actually might go for 25 or
That's
30.
that's a ridiculous lineup.
It
Yeah, it's
really
It's
is.
a phenomenal LP.
It really is. It's not one of his kind of, champagne soul weirdo disco records. It's good.
That's cool.
So, yeah, this
I
is
like
good.
I don't have any Eddie Henderson records, I don't think, and I like his stuff. I know it ranges in style, but I like his stuff that I've heard.
You can get funky at times.
Yeah, he can get funky. Yeah,
Hang on, Rob. Does Jeffrey have a pile too?
No, Jeffrey came to LA and didn't even try to visit me. Why would I?
Okay, so
We're
Yeah,
gonna have
well,
a
hang on, I just wanted to say something. To have a pile in Rob's apartment, it's kind of like a motorcycle club. You kind of got to be a hang around for a while. You know?
Chris is not wrong. You actually have to murder someone. So
That's true.
Prove that you
Also,
killed someone.
How do
Be
you
on
think I
the
got the John Carter?
Be on the lookout for new merch, Jazz Bones merch that is just put it in my pile.
Yes, please. That'll be great.
Everybody has a
This is
pile
a
now.
fantastic
Lucky you guys have piles.
Actually, yeah. So, Chris has been touting this album. I picked it up, and he's not wrong.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
fucking
really
great.
good. This is like avant-garde, a tinge of freeness, but it's so good. It really is. It's very
A great bass player on that record.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get obsessed with him and the drummer there that plays with him. What's his name? Aldo something. I can't read it. Aldo
Romano.
Romano. Yeah.
Okay, this is a record I think everyone should pick up. It is True Cheap Heat. This Huber Law is in the beginning. It's a double record on CTI. It really is good. It is. I kind of am very iffy about him with the flute, but this is good. It's a white label promo. I think I paid $5 for this. So, and it was clean as shit. Is that another T-shirt you guys could do?
That's an oxymoron, isn't that? Clean as shit.
Listen, we have a lot of oxymorons around here.
Or more.
So these are just a mixture of records I picked up.
Great record. Bang.
This is an OG
Oh,
song.
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Is that hard to get, Rob? Is that hard to get?
Is Billy
I don't
Bang?
I don't know if it's hard to get, but I'll tell you what. Yeah, sorry, Felipe. What?
No, I was going to ask if the Billy Bang is a banger.
Yeah.
There's a documentary that came out about 3 years ago about him, and I have not watched it yet.
He definitely has some stuff that's pretty rare.
Right, but here's the one thing: Charles Tyler records are hard to get.
So it's something from Curtis Clark too.
Okay. Yeah, I have the Curtis Clarks on Indian Navigation.
Yeah, Dave, don't you have that, like, the Billy Bang record that he did for, like, that group in New York? Wasn't there like, you know what I'm talking about? What was that name of that ensemble? Wasn't it like the New York?
Yeah, Notes and Tones has a pile, but I don't think he murdered someone yet.
Yeah, that is a cool one, Rob.
Okay, this is one I almost ordered, and I went into the store and they had it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it was released on Paul Bley's label, Improvising Artist. But this was 2 different sessions, one from 61 and one from 68. So it's John Gilmore and
Terry Peacock.
They're not on every track. So I think the John Gilmore stuff's from the early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
That's on here.
It's one of his rare appearances, not with Sun Ra.
Yeah.
That's why I picked it up. Okay, here's the record I want to try and sell out everywhere. This is a record everyone should pick up and will love it. I don't know how many people don't have this record.
I don't.
This is a green label, but I think it's like maybe you should be able to get it $15-20. This is an excellent record. These are 2 German brothers, and they came to the US and recorded this session. And hey, is that the same drummer, Chris? Romano? Yeah. Aldo Romano.
All right. I'm going to drop a link to the Discogs entry of the OG. It's affordable, so if anybody wants to check it out, you can search there.
It's a fantastic record. I don't think anyone will be disappointed, but stream it before you buy it.
I think Joe would like that Analog Archive.
I think I posted it, and he might have said someone he liked in the thread we're in. So this is good. Okay.
Here's the Billy Bang there, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Let's check this out.
The Survival Ensemble.
Yeah.
This is really, really good.
Yeah.
That documentary has a soundtrack, too. I think it's like a double LP. This was from the Dizzy collection.
Nice.
Yes. It's a green label.
What was it first pressed on? Did it have a orange wagon wheel?
I think
or is it the later? Yeah, I think it's later.
About 68. No.
I'll look it up.
This is a great record because it's very different for him. It's a lot of, but it's great. I have the
Is it his daughter singing on it?
I don't know, but there's one you can get right now. It's part of that German, it's like 72. There's that German Universal Germany reissue campaign. I have a copy of this, and I haven't listened to this yet, so I might get rid of that one. But that one's really good. I mean, look, there's 1 million people on this record.
Yeah,
Early 1 million.
It's not clean as shit though.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Okay. This I picked up, and I'm gonna say right now, you should grab this. I think it came out maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Steve Reed.
This is fantastic. I know an OG. Mike, looked what an OG of this goes for. Came out on red vinyl, but this is fantastic. I have the other Steve Reed that came out with that yellow cover, whatever that's called. That's like pure free jazz. This is really good. This is very.
I have a reissue that's regular black vinyl.
Yeah, look at how much that goes for. But this sounds good. This was put out by Soul Jazz Records.
Soul Jazz.
Yeah, it's
They do
expensive.
good work.
That's for sure.
Okay, now we're going into stuff I ordered from Forced Exposure, and these are Soul Note and
Black Saint.
Black Saint reissues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank Lowe.
Oh wow, they do a good job. That looks good.
Yeah,
That looks like my
these are
original.
good. I haven't listened to them yet.
Oh,
This
oh
is-
okay. I do want that.
That's-
When was that originally put out? Is that more recent, that one?
It's like
In
90.
general?
1990.
Okay, yeah. Eargong.
This is
okay,
this is the company doing the reissues.
let me know how those sound. I'd be curious. I've seen
Okay.
their stuff is pretty affordable.
And then they did this one too.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. I think Notes and Tones picked that
And,
up recently.
because they had a
I have
15.
all the Black Saint Soul Notes back.
They had a 15% off sale.
Yeah.
That's why I bought them.
Nicole, I could feel the pain.
Yes,
say that.
$9 each. I paid for those things.
I have a burgeoning Black Saint Black Saint collection.
This isn't crazy priced. This Spiral. So this
Yeah.
is sort of the
All his stuff on LT is expensive though.
well this one isn't. I don't think. I mean, someone who didn't auction record, didn't sell on eBay, was selling off his dad's collection. So people, I think, were afraid to bid on this. So
Okay.
no one bid on it, and I got it for $23. But
Oh,
I think it's like under $50.
Who's on it with him?
Well, here's the thing about this. So there's 3 Bobby Hutcherson tone pods coming out, right? This is the one that comes out the end. Begins with an M.
I don't know.
This is from the same set. These are 2 different sessions,
Okay.
and this is killer stuff. So
What do you not know, Mike? Maybe
Issue that on Tone Poet with a different title.
no,
Oh, cool.
it's part of the same sessions. This
Oh.
Spiral record, the other record, because if you buy the CD, it's Spiral in
me look it
Medina
up.
or whatever. That's the tone pod that's coming out. So
What Kuhn record did you show? I want to see that.
Which one?
Kuhn? Rolf Kuhn?
Is it Total Eclipse? It's not Total Eclipse, is it, Rob?
No,
Damn it.
Okay.
I have
Rob.
Total Eclipse here.
Rob, my copy, somebody wrote all over the cover, and
Yeah.
they wrote "Don't steal
I
me"
don't know.
on the cover.
Mm.
I love it. Don't steal me.
Oh, yeah.
This is kick ass. This is so
Cool.
good.
You
All
know,
right.
I had a few LT series in my cart, but I'm prioritizing other things, and people keep buying them.
Yeah. That's what
You have
happens.
this? Dave, do you have this one?
Pearl Rock, yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I had that.
Yes, Roberto, we're talking about Bitches Brew for sure.
Yeah,
Those are pretty
Garmin.
Once Rob's done showing records,
You don't
There's-
see a lot of
there you go,
Al
Mike.
Shorter stuff.
But Bobby Few is even further, unless you said, well, I have a lot of Steve Lacy and see him in
Yeah,
Paris.
Green label. So I thought I had this, but I picked it up just in case. Okay, this was sealed for $20. I know so this is Kwanzaa, the first. This is the French version, which they called Oops.
That's weird.
Well, there's a song called Oops.
Oh, okay.
So this was, I think, Albert Heath's first solo record. But again, all his brothers are on it and everything. And the Kwanzaa record's very expensive. That's a pricey ass record. I don't know why this one's not. Maybe because it's usually green, more with his upper body on it. But this sounds excellent, and it came flat and clean when I opened it. So
is it old or a reissue or what?
No. This came out in the 70s in France.
Okay.
So it was sealed. $20. It was worth it,
Yeah.
Because the regular one. But this is a good record. If you like the Heath brothers and all that stuff, go.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
All right. People saw me show this. Harry gave me this. This is like a second press. This is a new. What's going on, man?
That's a train in my neighborhood.
This is a Bergenfield pressing, but this thing sounds excellent. Killer.
Yeah, it's a great record. I think I got two
Okay,
copies.
so this is the most I paid for a record in Seattle. This is a Music Matters 33 of Undercurrent.
Nice.
And it's excellent.
Mike,
Yeah,
don't you have that?
No. No.
Felipe does.
I didn't pay $100 for it.
I'll tell you what, those Music Matter,
that.
those Music Matter 33s are holding their value pretty nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
They're
this
expensive.
I paid way under what. And you know what? It
The
had
45s I feel like have stagnated in how much they're. I mean, they're not cheap, but like
throw in the trash.
Yeah, no, it was a bad seam split, but I kind of repaired it pretty nicely. So
no, it's garbage.
all right,
Yeah.
this is a must-own record.
Dr. Robert.
You need to kill someone to get this record. This is a must-own. This record right here.
You're
Put him on
calling.
phone then, bro.
Yeah.
Put him on phone.
In fact, I picked up his solo record. This dude, which is hard to get.
Is his son on that
Yes.
or no?
Yes, his son's right there.
Renee.
Renee?
Yeah, Renee. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And by the way, I have the Renee Steeplechase. That fucking record's awesome.
I know.
Yeah,
I've
that's
been
a
meaning
great record.
to get that.
But
Yeah.
this is a banger, just from beginning to end. Killed.
I have Renee McLean
Carbon.
on a Muse record. He's sideman on a Muse record that I have. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
OJC's just joined the club, man.
Okay,
Yeah, what happened to Renee McLean?
I don't know.
Question.
I'll look it up.
All right, I picked this up the other day. This is a org reissue of this record.
Oh, nice.
All right, this I'll show you the three. So you discover sale, even though I have a 70s Black Bee of this, it has some noise on it. So I got that. I got that.
I love that record.
I got that.
I need to get a sale going, but I'm gonna wait till the next one. I
30%.
think.
It ends today. The 30% off sale.
Yeah, I'll wait till the next one.
Okay, okay. I don't want to be judged, but it's very hard to find this record.
I judge you every day, Rob.
This is this is a 4-man with beards pressing.
Oh God!
But
Trash.
I got it below what it goes for, and it doesn't sound bad. It sounds
Yeah.
okay. And this is a kick-ass record.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, this is the last one.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, this
That's
is a
great.
very controversial record.
Why?
Yes. Because this was a foundational talking point for my pushback on Mike Notes and Tones when he was like, you need to get the Wayne Shorter Night Dreamer. And I was like, yeah, but I could get it whenever I want. I'm spending, and I bought that because it's a pretty rare record.
How much did you spend on yours?
25.
Yeah, it was $15.
Yeah, it's
Y'all
expensive.
both lying.
That's
Mike paid 45 and
that-
Rob paid 30.
That's a really expensive record. No, that's why I bought it. I couldn't believe the price.
Well, the point was not that that's not a great record, but just that Night Dreamer is more important.
Yeah, but that wasn't what I was arguing. I wasn't arguing that it wasn't important. I was arguing that I could get that whenever I want. And this is
priority.
something. It's like if I don't get it now, then I'll have to pay $70 for it if I ever want.
Well, if you waited, you could have got one for 15. No
I'll
problem.
be honest with you. I would like to get a Joe Harriet record where he's free jazzing. This is not the record. That's not
See,
the
this is the problem with Mike Notes and Tones.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh, we're coming in.
Oh,
Whoa.
we're going there.
Whoa.
The problem is that he's not up on the stream right now. God
That is a
damn it.
problem. I agree. Yeah, because we want to talk about bitches brew.
Hey.
Come on, man.
Look, a WNBA game is not going to watch itself.
That's true. Hey, the
No, I
WNBA
think,
is
I
awesome.
think
Dude.
maybe the graduation festivities have carried over.
That's possible.
But yeah, no, it's totally fine. So we wanted Felipe for Bitches Brew for sure.
Yeah, we're going to wait. Felipe,
Oh,
I could show a record in the meantime.
I have an OG. I haven't even done the Bitches Brew, but I have an OG. And
Yeah, Mike, you got a stack.
I got a stack. I'm not going to go through the stack because I do want to do Bitches Brew, but I will show this one, which is unrelated to the stack. This was something that Steve Hoffman mentioned on Westman's stream when he was interviewed. I got a nice clean copy of something that, I've seen this before and I just ignored it because I just thought it was cheesy. But after hearing Hoffman and looking into it, I was like, this is a pretty great record. So this is Howard Rumsey's Lighthouse All-Stars. This is what is it? This is a 1956 session, and it's a 1958 pressing on Stereo Records, which is an imprint of Contemporary. This is when stereo was first being created, essentially. So I won't go. I'll try not to be too long-winded, but the folks at Contemporary, and I've said this recently on other streams for other records by them, but the folks at Contemporary knew that stereo was happening, didn't have the ability to press stereo records, but they wanted to record them so when they could, they'd be ready and have stuff to put out. So this is a 56 recording, 56. And in 58, they actually started pressing using the Westrex cutting system that was from I forget what movie studio, but also RCA Living Stereo used it too. And Hoffman said that it gives like a certain presence to their recordings that really can't be matched because it's this special Westrex cutter head that gives it this special thing. So anyway, I've been picking these up. There are a lot that are very expensive, and there are some that are more affordable. This one, it's hard to get. It's not crazy expensive. Way Out West was pressed on Stereo Records. Art Pepper Meets a Rhythm section was Stereo Records as well. Those are crazy expensive to get. Yeah, they are. But this one's affordable. But you know what's cool about this is I'll tell you the lineup, and I'll wait to tell you who the piano player is. So it's Howard Rumsey on bass, Bob Cooper on tenor sax, Frank Rosolino trombone, Conti Condoli trumpet, Stan Levy drums, and the piano player is Sonny Clark on piano. So Sonny Clark was part of the Lighthouse All-Stars for a little bit, and he recorded, and that's the entire group on this record. So he's the piano player. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think somebody showed this on the last live stream. I was watching it, and somebody came up and they showed they had like a 70s reissue of the stereo. But yeah, so I got that, and it's on a beautiful, this deep groove stereo label. And you see that text at the bottom of the label there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That tells you about the cutter head. So it's like stereophonic 2-channel recording, Westrex 4545, stereo disc, yada, yada, yada. Because this was all new. This was like they were pressing this and people didn't even have stereo record players. So that's how, novel this was at the time. So, yeah.
One thing I wanted to add to that was that it wasn't that they couldn't press the stereo records; they couldn't cut them.
Okay, all right,
right.
Oh,
but
right,
yeah. Because they're recorded both tapes.
Right.
So they recorded them on and stereo.
Yes,
which was
that makes
some of the very most best sounding records of all time were recorded by Roy Danan during those years.
Yeah.
I bet that's excellent. I've got a couple of those, not that one. I've got a couple of different of the, Lighthouse, Rumsey records, and they're great. They sound great.
And I know Chad's been putting out a few of these. Like he put out, I think the Benny Carter one. There's a Benny Carter one that is on Stereo Records, and you'll notice like it has this really ridiculous stereo oval. But if you can get, if you find an original of these for, less than $40, it's definitely worth getting.
But I mean, that Benny Carter, I've got it. I had an OJC of it. I love that record. And I bought Chad's, but I got it for like $20. Like, a lot of those contemporary reissues, you can get them for like less than $20 now, which is just a crazy deal for what it is. I mean, the jacket, the pressing, the music,
Yeah. So I got that one. But yeah, Sonny Clark, come on. Sonny
Yeah.
Clark on Blue Note. I mean, those records are like $2,000. This is
Yeah.
the same. This is 1956. It's the same time period. So
Yes.
check it out for sure.
But it's not on Blue Note, so nobody cares, man.
That was a great tip by Hoffman for sure.
Yeah. Felipe has abandoned us for dinner.
Oh, come on, Felipe.
Yeah, I
do
got
have
to order something for myself soon.
What's up?
I say I have to order something for myself. There's nothing
Well,
in the-
get some dinner, Nicole, and then we'll talk about Britches Brew.
I'll order it. Have something.
Yeah,
delivered.
I'm exhausted. I will take a break. But good
Well,
luck with your.
Hey, Rob.
Take a break. What are you talking about, man? You're going to talk about Bitches Brew with us when Felipe comes
I
back?
don't have my copies ready because I got back and I've been busy. So.
Rob, before what's your schedule like next week?
Oh, okay. The mono. Got it.
Not busy, not horribly busy. I'm gonna work from home mostly. Why? What's up?
I'm buying a car down in Southern California.
Ice cream truck.
Yeah, I wish that would be good.
So when are you down here?
It's either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Probably more like the Tuesday, Wednesday.
I'm free on Tuesday. I'm sure if you'd like to meet up with some people like Jim, we can. Where are you? Do you know? Do you know what?
It's over at this guy lives over at West Hills, I guess.
In the vet,
Canoga
yeah,
Park, near Canoga Park.
No problem. So what are you gonna?
I'll probably fly in. I'm gonna do is have the car transported because I'll show you a picture. It's kind of a cool pic. My son thinks it's
well, there was a way that you two could communicate about your private affairs together.
My son thinks I'm really stupid to get this car, but
what is it? Let's see. Oh, cute.
It's another.
Sweet.
Wait, even the windows are tinted purple?
No, it's just the way the picture is.
Can you just put your Sunra bumper sticker on there, please? Thank you.
No, look at the license plate. This is a better view of the license plate.
Is that yours?
Evil 500.
Evil 500.
Nice.
Yes.
That's
My
awesome.
son, what the hell are you doing? And this has got a full cage roll bar or whatever they call that.
Oh, wow.
I built it for to do some racing, but he never did.
Those are one of those modern Fiats, right?
Yeah.
This is the Fiat Abarth. Yeah, that's the car I had before, that got totaled, but not fully modified like this one.
You get
You're buying a race car? That's cool.
Mine was white. My white Abarth that got totaled.
Yeah, did you get a good insurance check for that?
It's about $7,000.
That's a good little down payment.
Yeah, this is going to cost me 18. So
Whichever one, man.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Andy.
this is where my car got towed, and they took it away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to have somebody come with me because you never know when you're buying a car from somebody.
Okay, you need protection.
You need some muscle.
Need muscle,
Need some muscle on a project.
Hey, now, Nicole, question for you with a car like that. Are you going to fight crime with that? Like dress up
Yeah,
in costume?
Yeah, that's true. Now, here's a pro tip too, Nicole. Don't give Rob your address because he might just let the car seller kill you so you can fly to your house and steal all your records.
In your face,
Well,
Chris. I already have her address. I've mailed her lots of records.
No, that was a mistake.
He knows exactly what. No, Rob is going to do when I'm dead and gone, selling off my records for me.
And anyway, I know your address. You're
Yes,
still
I know.
alive.
Yeah, but
I
I
told-
Texas.
I told Carolina that in the event of my untimely death, to reach out to Billy and to Rob and let you guys fight over my records.
What about me and Felipe, dude? Come on.
No, they'll
Put them all on Etsy and let them go at it.
Hey, there'll be a Lifetime movie called Untimely Death. The Rob Black story.
Yes.
Never had the smallest car. One day it meets the biggest car. Yeah, that's true. Well, I got two people came into me, so on the other one.
That car's good for parking though in San Francisco.
Oh, I got a rental, and I swear I just don't do well with big cars. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you're used to a smaller car, that's
Yeah.
you know.
The
Well,
thing
my
is, shit in
phone-
Texas is everybody has those giant pickup trucks and they put extra wide tires on them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's fucking ridiculous, man.
I looked at an article
Water
because I
from
saw a Ford a number of years ago that it's kind of a sports car version of it's like a subcompact. And I went to go look at it, and there was somebody said look for it, and they said Ford does not make cars anymore. They make the Mustang, but passenger cars no more. Just
Really?
Mustang or trucks or SUVs. That's it.
I had a Mustang for 13 years. I love that
Yeah.
car.
I had
Year, man.
when they reissued the Mustang, I had that one.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
Yeah,
The first boxier style. I
need to get a new car, so I'm looking what to get. I just don't know.
What's wrong with your car?
It's old. I want to
Yeah.
get a new car.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing. You know, I looked at Honda Fit, and a 2013 Honda Fit is still going for almost $16,000.
Jesus, why? That's crazy.
Yeah, they have great resale because the engines are great on Hondas. They last forever.
Yeah.
I've had 2 Civics since the Mustang, and I've done nothing but oil change. That's it.
Yeah.
Battery, and I think the first one needed a alternator.
Hey, Aldo, can you highlight Aldo?
Yeah.
1996.
Aldo, I don't have any bitches that I need to get in line. So
That's a sweet car. Oh,
Lincoln
man.
Lawyer.
No, that Mark IV had a crazy engine in it. It had a dual overhead cam V8.
What's Felipe driving? A Maserati?
It's kind of a Ford's version of the Cadillac one that came out in the 90s.
I have a 19 CRV. That's probably going to be the last car of my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
People are record collectors, are not usually car buyers.
Cars are a money pitch. I think my bicycle is worth more than my car.
I just want to get something for the amount of driving you do in LA. I just want to get something more fuel efficient.
Yeah.
I'm like on the fence. Should I get a Tesla? Should I get a hybrid? Or that's what
don't get a Tesla, Elon Musk.
Valley, is that the car you drive? You have a 96 Mark IV right now? If so, that'd be pretty kick-ass.
You have a refrigerator in the trunk?
Yeah.
I think the wreck was you have to put a dead body in your trunk when you have one.
That's true. Well, Felipe was back. All right.
Yeah.
Felipe.
Yeah. So what's up?
You get any
Bitches
records,
Brew.
Felipe?
No.
Bitches Brew.
I got a few we could do quickly.
No, Bitches Bro. We got to do
Bitches
Bitches Bro.
Oh,
Bitches Brew. Yeah.
Show them after.
Show them after, yes.
All right. Okay, well, do bitches roll while I'm ordering dinner.
Did you all get this?
I have the full box. This is just
I don't have
this
that.
is a comp from the complete sessions.
Yeah, this was good.
Yeah, it's good. Mm-hmm.
What
Discogs to buy it, but I never bought it.
how do we want to, are we going to make this a snippet video or are we just going to talk about it?
Yeah.
So do you want to intro it?
So let's do a countdown. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
take care,
Yeah,
everybody. I'm gonna
Hey.
take off. I'm beat.
All right. Later, Rob. What
Later on.
the hell was that?
Countdown. You really
No.
come on.
All right.
Everybody knows the countdown.
All right, everybody. Should I set it up and let's get it going? Everybody ready? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to intro it. I'll kick it over to Felipe. Felipe, you'll do a little intro, and I think you wanted to start with a couple roundtable questions, and then we'll just kind of freestyle.
Then we're gonna go for it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And everybody who's watching in the Peanut Gallery, please add your comments, and we'll put them up on screen. So obviously, we're going to do a highlight for Record of the Week for Bitches Brew. So very popular record. So I'm sure a lot of people have opinions. So let us know what you think as we go along. Cool?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Welcome back, fellow jazz bums. We are coming back and doing Record of the Week. This week, we are doing Miles Davis Bitches Brew. Before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe. We're going to drop a link to the Jazz Bums Discord. Come check us out there. And then also we live stream every Friday. We are actually recording this on our live stream right now. So you can come and participate on the next one as well, if you'd like to. With that, I'm going to kick it over to Felipe to get us started.
Hey, Mike, Chris, Nicole, Dave. I wish Rob was here too, but let's get going. It was an obvious choice, right? We were like, dude, you got to do something, and I think Bitches Brew was just the record to talk about, right? So before we get any history, any background, or anything, I'd like to ask you guys very briefly, okay, not just so we can stay focused here. How was your first contact with Bitches Brew? How did you feel about it?
All right. Well, Felipe, pick somebody.
Yeah, go ahead. You.
Me? All right. Well, I got into Miles not through his later. I mean, I would consider this as later stuff. And I didn't have initial interest in it. The style didn't really call to me at first. So my first reaction to Bitches Brew was, pretty lukewarm. I just really didn't gravitate towards it. Now, my opinion of it has changed since then, but that was my first reaction.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
So Bitches Brew was the first jazz record I ever got. I think I bought it like in 1998 or something. Got a CD. That, and I've sold 100 times, but that and the Herbie Hancock record were the only two jazz records I listened to until the year 2000. So, 2020. So anyway, I loved it for the very first time I heard it. It's maybe my favorite jazz record. It's definitely top 5. So, yeah.
Cool. What about you, Nicole? How did you get into Bitches Brew?
How I got into it. I used to, back in 1970, when that record came out, I was 18 years old. And I remember seeing it in Rolling Stone magazine, or at that time, it was more like a paper that indicated as like, big ad saying, Bitches Brew, Miles Davis wanted to make the best rock and roll record that anybody's ever heard. Exactly. That record came out in what?
70.
March of 1970.
Yes.
I saw Bitches Brew opening up for the Grateful Dead.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot related to it, and we're gonna go over for
my
sure.
My impression was at that point I was still pretty much a rock and roll person, and it was an eye opener, that's for sure. So, yeah.
What about you, Dave? How did you first listen to Bitches Brew, and what did you think about it?
Well, being a guitar guy, I was into John McLaughlin, and that's one of the reasons I gravitated to this record. Obviously, the artwork too. So it's one of the early jazz records I bought, similar to Chris. And yeah, the guitar work. My mind was blown when listening to this record for the first time, because I really didn't have anything to compare it to.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So for me, I was like, damn, because I had heard some of the early Miles,
right,
and some of the quartet, and then this was another realm. And I went to this first before going to In a Silent Way.
Right.
That was a whole nother thing. But this record is it's hard to top with
it is
sometimes.
I agree with you, and to me it was like early late 90s, I think, but it probably have the same version that Chris bought, the CD, the double one, the Legacy, with the extra track Fail.
Yep.
And I was basically going to this CD live bookstore. There was a huge mega store they had, and every week I was buying something that was on sale. So all these legacies were there. I bought first Kind of Blue, just because I gravitated towards that cover, and then I got Miles in the Sky and Jack Johnson, and I think Bitches Brew I bought right after Jack Johnson by coincidence. And I think Jack Johnson has more structure, so Bitches Brew struck me by the lack of structure, quote unquote, in a sense. And I think that was quite interesting and challenging and attracting and dangerous. They had this mystique, right? So as Dave really well put out, let's start by the cover, right? The cover was a drawing by Marty Clarwine, and if you put those side by side, it's like dark and bright, mysterious and open, candid and challenging, and this communion between man and nature, right? It's about communion, black and white, nature, human. So there's a lot of that in that cover, and he did many covers. Do you guys know any other covers done by that artist?
No.
Joe Beck. I think about that drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, or look up. You don't have to go that far. Look at this guy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or don't look at that guy. Actually, it's the same character from Beaches Brew. She's right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
She is the same character. So so the cover I think was a big attraction to start with, right?
Of course, yeah.
So Beaches Brew came out in 1970. It was a record that's being built, developed over since 1968, early 69.
Right.
The Silent Way sessions actually encompass a lot, right? Silent Way was recorded over the period of a year. So Silent Way derived Feels of Kilimanjaro. Also some tracks on Nefertiti, right?
Yes.
It's this there. And kind of the rehearsal for Beaches Brew, the whole electric experiment, which started on Miles in the Sky.
Right.
And there is some stuff from Miles in the Sky that's actually in Beaches Brew. So Beaches Brew was slowly, I think it was a laboratory for Miles to 68 to 70. So to say that it was because of Clyde Davis or it was a sellout, I think it's too much of a stretch, right? Especially for a guy that recorded the Snow White theme, to say that Beaches Brew was a sellout is kind of weird to say. So it was something that he had a plan, and look at those sessions. You think of Kind of Blue, he just gave sheet music to the musicians. Here he just gave, I want the drums to sound like a thunder or whatever. There was not much direction there. And it was recorded in only 3 days. And the record has 6 tracks, which are Pharaoh's Dance, Beaches Brew, Spanish Key, John McLaughlin, Miles Runs the Voodoo Down, and Sanctuary, right? And especially tracks like Miles Runs the Voodoo Down and Sanctuary, they were leftovers from the first quintet, from the second quintet. They had already been playing live in concerts, like the jazz festival,
Monterey.
Not Monterey, the other one.
Montreux.
No, I'm so sorry, Mike.
Newport.
Near you, the
Newport.
Sorry, Newport 69. They were already playing songs like Sanctuary, and Sanctuary actually used to be a ballad, and it's the more off track from the whole record, if you think about, right? So I think it was really revolutionary. It's a record that's really broken down. There's a lot of editing there, especially on Pharaoh's Dance, which was never ever actually played live. They never played Pharaoh's Dance live. From those 20 minutes, there's 19 cuts, which is quite impressive. And you can hear the cuts, right? Initially, you might think it's sort of annoying, but no, there's shifts in there. And Ben just played. All the bits and pieces were put together by Theo Macero in the studio, which probably has a much bigger role in the recording of the record than what we can even assume. He was actually the guy that pieced everything together, organized it, and I think there's some quite interesting things about it that we should go over them. And let's start with the first track, Pharaoh's Dance. How do you guys like it?
So it's my, Bitches Brew is my favorite track. Pharaoh's Dance is my second favorite, but they're neck and neck. And the thing that the record's just striking in so many ways. When you're listening to it, it's kind of like an assault on your senses, right? Miles's horn when it's dead silent, or there's just a little bit of guitar, whatever going on, and he just comes in there with that and it's echoing across the sound stage, man. It's just so fucking trippy and awesome. I mean, yeah. So that's my impression. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great track. I mean, the way that I've approached Bitches Brew, because I mentioned at the opening that I didn't gravitate to it, and it was because it was electric. And when I was it like my journey to get to Bitches Brew took me a little longer because I came in through like big band Sinatra stuff, and when I came in and I was interested in his earlier stuff just much more. So I was just ignoring it. Really, it wasn't that I didn't like it. I just wasn't really into that stuff, and I just thought I'd get there at some point. It took me essentially like up until like maybe like this past year where I've really started to think Bitches Brew is maybe the coolest record I've ever heard. I think it is like at that level. Like, to me, I don't even know how to articulate the feeling of the space that it occupies when I put it on in my house. Like, it changes like the environment completely. And it feels like it takes me to a time period, 1970. And it's just unbelievable. Like, it just is a cool vibe, for lack of a better way to describe it, to just be a part of. And I feel like this opening track just sets that. And like, I will put this, I put this album on and just like have it on in the house. And like, that's like the vibe. And like, my wife and I are just like walking around doing our thing. And like, this is what's there. And it's like, it feels like it's a, although like some people may say like, oh, this might be a little out there, might be a little dissonant, might be a little challenging. I don't know, like the way that we experience it when I put it on, like, honestly, it's like a welcoming, like hip, like there are people around, like it just creates like this atmosphere. That's what it is. It's like, it creates a super cool atmosphere. And, and that's what I've really recognized about this record. And that's how I kind of use this record in my life. So I love it. And this first track sets the tone.
Right. Nicole, Dave, how do you guys feel about Pharaoh's Dance?
Well, to me, that whole Bitches Brew is like a composition, a complete composition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to individual tracks, it feels like it is all blended into each other.
Yeah, I was going to say something very similar, Nicole, in the fact that this is a record. when I put this on, it's going to be, I'm playing the whole thing.
Yeah, to me, it's a concept record.
It's getting jammed.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Like a Hendrix record.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. So the way I see it, I think Pharaoh's Dance is kind of interesting because there's so many like random elements going on. There's like build up, right? There's not a structured melody. There's not a structured rhythm. I mean, it's all about rhythm. Sorry, there's not a melody or harmony. It's all about rhythm.
Rhythm, yeah.
And instruments building up. It's like creation of life. You know, elements coalescing, get into this huge mass that it takes over.
Right, because you have two drummers, right?
Yes, two drummers. We have two drummers, two bass, and two keyboards. You have two rhythm sections, one on each side, doing completely different things.
Right.
But complement each other and feeling it. And you have Miles kind of going with his horn all over the place, in a sense, building this whole thing. And it's a comparison that's frequently made, and it's very true. It's Rite of Spring right there.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's Dance is Rite of Spring. It's like so many parallels there with the building of life and creation and chaos going to this huge mass. So it's Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. A lot of people, a lot of reviewers, a lot of writers always go back to that reference because it's neck and neck. It's a huge parallel there. And what he's doing, especially the cuts, right? You go about like 10 minutes when they're going in a way that everything stops and then he stops playing with echoes. I mean, it just explores and experience. It's a mind-blowing experience. I think Pharaoh's Dance is just like a masterpiece in a sense, right?
Yeah. And so the next track, Bitches Brew, I mean, like I said, it's my favorite, and my favorite. I mean, there's so much I love about the record, but like Benny Maupin's bass clarinet playing, I think that's why I love the bass clarinet so much. It's like one of the first things that really struck me in the music period was that the bass clarinet on the record. But yeah, Pharaoh's Dance into Bitches Brew. I mean, it's almost like it's one whole thing.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it's not, but it just
Yeah.
the record flows. I mean, Tio Macero, somebody mentioned that Bandy mentioned that, it was revolutionary and that he used the studio as like an instrument, right? I mean, that,
Yeah.
that wasn't really done at that point. So think about all the records that have been, where they've edited it in the studio, messing with
Oh, for
tape,
sure.
or now, digital, it's like commonplace, but
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
was at the time.
Yeah, but I think it's cool to think too. I mean, I think Miles was one of the first guys to splice tapes on around about midnight.
Mhm.
Like, combining different cuts. But on Beaches Brew, they go overboard. They just remove even like rhythm sections, and it gets, it's just a different level of cut and paste and use of the studio. So I think yeah, John is absolutely right on the way, and that song is just so big, right? So I think I can see why in live versions they will go shorter, around about 13, 15 minutes, but in the studio it never felt, you want more. It's just unbelievable how the studio version is just so incredible, so
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely.
Just live performance were pretty much the same way the way the record flows.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I was going to ask you, didn't they use some overdubs and like special,
Effects.
Mhm.
effects?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's lots of reverb,
Reverb.
reverb
Mhm.
chamber going on up in
But
that
yeah,
sort of thing.
but
Yeah.
probably back those days, electronics are not as sophisticated as it is
Ubiquitous,
now.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think Miles had his horn hooked up to an electronic passage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
did they? I don't know if anybody knows this off the top of their head, but I think I read that they used overdubs and they also played with tape speed as well.
Yeah.
on Beaches
So
Brew?
I think so. Yeah, at like certain times, like I
Maybe.
think there were lots of different cuts and different elements that they used to play around with, like all the different takes.
Yeah, no. So pretty much once they recorded, it was everything Tio Macero. Even some of the musicians, they didn't recognize their own playing after listening to the final record, which is something quite interesting
Yeah.
to listen to.
He did looping too, which is difficult back then because it's not like
Yeah.
you could just copy and paste a loop like you
Mhm.
can today, right?
Okay.
Like you had to,
Exactly.
you had to
He did a lot of records with,
record it, record it,
Yeah. Oh,
So-
and Teo, he did a lot of records with Miles. So they were very comfortable working together.
Yeah. So one of the records they really kind of started doing this kind of was on Silent Way, right? So the first track, Peaceful, if you listen to it, I mean, it opens after like a minute or so. Miles kicks in, but he's not playing a melody or a riff. He's just soloing.
Yeah.
And if you go to the CD box with the complete Silent Way sessions, there is a first cut with the actual rhythm section, which they completely removed from the final cut that's in the record, which is interesting.
Wow.
There's a bass line there. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
So they have been doing that since like '68 or so.
Yeah, it's a multi-track recording, man.
Yeah, they could do whatever they wanted for sure.
Yeah, they can. I mean, that was an advantage that came about when multi-track came along because, when Rudy was recording shit to 2-track, there's no mixing afterwards, right? Like you're mixing
No.
live, and that's what you do with multi-track. You just record every instrument on a separate track, and you can delete it, you can turn it up, you can turn it down, you can tweak it, you can do,
Oh yeah.
modern mastering, right?
Oh yeah. No, that was it. That's amazing. So
I saw a lot of parallels later on with Ornette Coleman's science fiction. A lot of the stuff that Miles did, he didn't do a lot of obviously with the baby crying or whatever that science fiction had. But you can see the influence that Miles had in
for sure.
Ornette Coleman.
Oh yeah.
That's a fantastic record, Nicole.
Oh yeah. One of
this
my
is
all-time favorites.
This is a classic anecdote that John Bandy's saying that
here's the actual letter.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get you big, Felipe.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Here's the actual.
Yeah.
What book was that from, Felipe?
Felipe, can you read what so can you set this up for us?
Yes, yes. So this is the Beaches Brew 40th anniversary. There's 2 boxes of Beaches Brew. One of the complete
that's the
sessions.
CD.
That's the 40th. So there's 2 boxes. One of the complete sessions,
Uh-huh.
which is not so complete because they chopped that so much. There's no like takes. It's just yeah. This is the 40th, which has some outtakes, has the original record, and has 2 concerts: Tanglewood Live 1970 and a DVD with a Copenhagen Live in '69. So this here has Miles just called and said he wants this album to be titled Beaches Brew. Please advise. And then Tio Macero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously within the time period, this was a pretty controversial thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
no, for sure. And he did it. And you know what's the funny thing? When Herbie Hancock wanted to release Sextant, they went to a label meeting, and they no way wanted to release that kind of music. And they actually brought Beaches Brew to the meeting and said, "This is what Miles Davis just released.
All right.
Let me put this out." That's how it worked. And I like these pictures here too.
Yeah, this is the CD set there.
Yes, that's the Beaches Brew 40th. Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
cool. I'll have to get that. Yeah.
I need to get that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and it's fairly inexpensive.
So I have a question for y'all too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of related. It's kind of this will come into it, but so I've had conversations lately with some folks about or I've interacted with YouTube videos about like who are the most innovative players in jazz history, or the most important, and and so Miles was on a list, but and I heard this tonight too, that Miles has this reputation not for really inventing anything, but just stealing things that he's seen elsewhere, and so I don't know, like, is this the first electronic jazz record? No, right? But I think that for me, I think that's unfair. I think yes, he found cool shit and incorporated it into his music, but I don't know, like, what do y'all think about that?
I don't really dissect it in that regard. I feel like he was an artist of his time, and he was a contributor as well as somebody who was influenced by his peers, and he put together, and moved forward a certain, style and thought and with his music. And I don't really need to go any deeper than that. I wouldn't want to say it. I mean, yes, I do feel like attributing like the lineage of how the genre advances is important, but I don't think of it as a negative in any way. I just think he was an artist in the 1970s, and he was being influenced by all his peers, and he was a leader, and he was wise and smart enough to understand how to experiment with this stuff in a way that really resonated with people. And yeah, I mean, in terms of fairness of him being on Columbia, having larger reach, those are valid points, but I don't really focus on those types of things.
Yeah, it's just he wasn't just influenced from jazz; he was influenced from rock and roll, and
everybody
around him. Betty Davis, that was, having him.
Well, yeah, I knew he wanted to play
with certain crowds, and he wanted to do something different, and he wasn't afraid to do it. And we're all happy that he wasn't afraid to move forward, keep doing new things, and looking on the corner, and all these things.
Yeah, and if you look at it, right, he was in the 40s doing bebop with Charlie Parker, and then he did a no net, he did a Birth to the Cool, and then he went modal, and then he went post bop with the second quintet, and then he went electric, and he ended up doing hip hop, which if you get a hip hop record now, it sounds amazing compared to what's been done.
And that's a good point, Felipe. I've read his book, and it's, he knew when he got to New York that Juilliard was not his priority. Finding Bird was his priority.
52nd Street, West 52nd Street.
Exactly, but I think in terms of influence, in terms of being bold and being able to pick the right people and conduct them, because it's a point that we were talking the other day, right? If you look at the guys there, so Wayne Shorter, Weather Report, Zawinu had his Mahavishnu Orchestra, Chick Corea had his own thing there as well. And those guys played together many times, but they never sounded like they sound in Beaches Brew.
Yeah, and Alex made a good point in the comments about
Yeah.
Zawinul's compositions.
Right.
So exactly, even in the track that Miles does not play, right, which is John McLaughlin, it still has a cohesion and structure that those guys playing together and never got in their solo bands.
He wanted to play with Hendrix. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that never came about because unfortunately Hendrix passed away.
I know, just
Yeah.
imagine that.
I mean, they were friends because Betty introduced him to Hendrix, and he was actually teaching Hendrix how to read and write music because Hendrix didn't know how to read and write. Yeah. So and two of Miles' greatest compositions there influenced by Hendrix, right? Here, Miles runs the Voodoo Down is completely a Voodoo Child riff, right?
Yeah.
It's Voodoo
I
Child.
also think he was. They were influenced by King Crimson because King Crimson was here in 1969.
And listen to Pink Floyd songs like "Careful That XL Gene" and stuff like that.
Right.
There's exactly like Beaches Brew.
Yeah,
exactly. That kind of rhythm, those passages. It's very similar.
And if you look in the jazz vein, and I know that there's been comparisons, I don't think they're correct, but I do feel like you could see within the jazz vein, you have Woody Shaw with Blackstone Legacy in 1969, and these are, jazz lineages that I think you can see the progression to 1970s Bitches Brew as well. So like, it's not just like Crimson and what's going on, outside of the genre. I do feel like jazz also is being, impacted by that. And also, I mean, we didn't even mention, but the album before this, In a Silent Way, right? I mean, this is a it's obviously it's a precursor in terms of chronology, but it's also a precursor in terms of the progression and next step with electric, and how Miles is using it. So those things are taken into account as well.
Yeah,
the other thing I wanted to say is, talking about Zawinul, he is the glue that made fusion stick together, man. Him and Wayne Shorter, but mostly him.
Yes.
I mean, Weather Report was Zawinul. Wayne Shorter played what he wanted him to, basically, and he was fine with that, and so I think that lineage is there. Miles popularizing the electric stuff more is there, because you look at everything from like 71 and 72, everybody's doing on electric records. Like, it's just, once Bitches Brew happened, everybody, I mean, Cannonball's doing that shit, everybody's putting a Rhodes piano in their quartets and quintets, right? So
yeah. And Silent Way has three pianos, right? It has electric piano, regular piano, and the organ. Yeah.
So what was the connection here? And I don't mean to deviate too much, but I've heard this before. Is it that Gil Evans and Hendrix and Miles were going to work together? Was that like the connection?
Gil Evans with Hendrix? No, it's Betty Davis. Gil Evans was going to work with Hendrix. I think they ever started, if I'm not mistaken. But Miles was a different thing. It was not related.
Yeah. But it's a great record overall. It's.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, like someone said in the comments, this is just some of the best cover art on any record ever.
Yeah. Like I said, the Abraxas and.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Miles, I mean,
actually Santana's first record too.
Yeah. And Miles, he borrowed from Hendrix on Voodoo Child, right? And also with was on the first record by Jimi Hendrix. He's also on Mademoiselle Mabry. Mademoiselle Mabry is a tribute to Hendrix as well. I forgot the name of the track.
To hear a lot of Miles' influences also in Santana's and Caravanserai and Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, the Wind Cries Mary. Sorry, I just remembered. Mademoiselle Mabry is exactly like Wind Cries Mary by Jimi Hendrix. Awesome. If you play the riffs, it's the exact same riff that Miles is playing.
Roberto, don't even say that shit, man. If it does, like, if
We're talking art here, Roberto, not MoFi.
I know,
Or-
but
or
I'm just saying, like,
Sonic,
I've sworn off one steps in UHQRs, but if people come out and it's like, oh my god, the one steps like the ultimate edition,
Yeah.
it sounds better than anything else, I'm gonna buy the fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I got the 2 MoFis already, and I already have the MoFi. What do you call
I
it?
don't.
Yeah.
One step or pre-order.
Okay, so
Well,
let's go back to record 2.
Okay.
What do you mean? Well, we can talk about everything, Felipe. It's okay.
Yeah,
we-
that's fine.
We should talk about pressings, but we can definitely. But yeah. So, but let's finish up the songs.
Okay.
Yeah. So record 2, a lot of people say record 2 could be separate from record 1, and I think most of us have this feeling. Record 2 sounds more structured than record 1. It sounds more like actual song, right? Which I think is interesting. Maybe it could be like a double, like a speaker box, The Love Below, something like this, like 2 separate records put in a single
Right.
package.
Right.
But I think record 2 has some weird stuff, but also some of the best. It starts with Spanish Key, right? With Spanish Key has a killer bass line that really, really is hypnotic, drags you down. This probably has some of Miles' best solos ever. Miles' solos there, it's like amazing. They're really good. And Chick Corea also goes like nuts on the electric piano on that track.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a very strong track in terms of structure and playing. And yeah, I keep going back to it. I think it's a really great track. How do you guys like it?
I mean, I think it's my favorite one on the second record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just love how this band just got in this wild groove, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like Mike said, he puts it on and just, you let it roll. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I think that record plays better now with the CD format, because it flows from one to the next.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to get up and turn
Turn the record over
and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point, though, because I mean, that's how I listened to it for the first, 20 years.
I think a lot of times with a lot of 2 record sets back in the day, I remember it was like, okay, I made it through the first record. I'll wait till get to record 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then never listen to record 2.
Never get to listen to record 2.
Exactly, 100%.
Well,
Or I heard the song on the radio. Oh, I have that record. It's like shit.
Yeah. But yeah, and then okay, so let's go to the next. Next is John McLaughlin, which is the shortest track there, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of interesting jamming there. There's no Miles playing. It's only guitar, pretty much. John McLaughlin. And even John McLaughlin didn't know how the track would be titled. I think it was Miles we just call it John McLaughlin because it's a guitar solo.
Yeah,
so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then actually this track was supposed to be the last movement on Pharaoh's Dance. On Beaches Brew, sorry.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the time for that. They did a space. So they just chopped it and pushed to so it's kind of an odd thing there. I mean, it's a really cool track, but it's like totally floating there out of the blue. Right?
Yeah, and like I said, he's why I went and sought this record out, was John McLaughlin, because I was listening to stuff he was doing with John Sermon. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. Like, you got this British guy throwing down on the saxophone with a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was the first time I really had any electric guitar in jazz that I was listening to. I was like, well, if he's with Miles Davis, then this has got to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
do you mean like distorted electric guitar? Like,
yeah, like with with some effects.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not Wes Montgomery stuff.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is some real shit. And when I got this record, I played this. My friend Joe Laughlin was like, "What in the hell are we listening to? This is great." So
I think a lot of people have that reaction to that record when you first put it on.
Yeah, everybody says this is great. Holy shit.
A lot of folks, don't like this record, and that's fine. So for you, people that don't like this record, I mean, if you're watching this, that's cool. But like, I've also heard arguments that if you recommend this to somebody that's going to turn them off to jazz, and this is what ruined jazz and all this kind of stuff, you know. I just don't. Carolina's having problems. I just don't.
Sorry.
It's all good. I just don't agree with that because this was so many people's entry point to the music that I know of. So you know, if you're coming from, yeah, I've been listening to hard bop for 20 years, and then you get to this, then sure, I could see why you would say, hey, people should listen to this stuff first. And it is valuable to have those lists of records that are accessible. If somebody doesn't like this kind of music, that's fine. But I do think that it's a record that can bring a lot of people to the music too.
Right.
Yeah, Chris, the natural progression. I mean, with jazz, you start it like I did. I started with the early bop.
Yeah,
exactly.
I got into hard bop, then I got into the avant bop. Then I got into the avant-garde. Then I got into free jazz. Now I'm beyond free jazz. I'm in the
Well, I went from
Japanese stuff.
From Bits of Brew.
And I think John, on your comment, I'm not sure if Pharaoh's Dance is a funky song because it's just. I think I would call this a mess. It's a crescendo thing. I think Spanish Key and Miles Runs the Voodoo Down, they're way funkier because they're like bass lines and more like structure. They're the songs that you probably can dance to in this record, right? Compared to Pharaoh's Dance in terms of being funky. That's I'll do
an interpretive dance to the entire Pharaoh's Dance when we get to. We should do it as a group.
Yeah,
the three of us can do an interpretive dance when we get to 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but
you in?
Yeah, oh yeah. So then we get to Miles Runs the Voodoo Down, right?
Yeah.
Which was actually Miles was playing the song with the quintet. They play in like a faster time, and then Don Elias actually suggested to Miles to go slower on a type of a Louisiana kind of marching band, New Orleans marching style. That's why it's got this muddy, slow, hypnotic, and there's some killer trumpet solos. They're very dangerous, very in your face. I think some of the most aggressive and coolest like Miles playing that you can possibly get. It's on Miles Runs the Voodoo Down. It is threatening. It's like really is dangerous. But it's so cool. It's so attractive. It's such a song that sucks you in. I think it's probably the best song on the record in terms like being,
I'm gonna step away.
The best song on the record. You think so, Felipe?
I'm saying probably on Miles. I think it's Miles playing probably.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
His solos there are very sharp, very sharp.
I'm not going to argue with that.
No,
and kind of dangerous, and also I think the derivations live. Especially if you go to those records like the Japanese ones, Ogarta and Pangaea, the variations that they do on this song there, it goes like wild. I think that's one of the cool songs in there. What do you think, Chris?
No, I mean I think it's cool. It's one of my lesser favorite songs on the record. I do definitely agree though that Miles has some great solos on it.
Yeah, that's his song, right? Miles runs the whole thing down.
But I mean, the other thing about Bitches Brew for me with Miles is on a lot of these tunes, he's doing the ultimate version of playing with space, right? Where the band plays for fucking 5 minutes without him, and then all of a sudden he jolts you out of your slumber of, you're stoned and confused, grooved out slumber with just these hard hits, and it's just perfect, Anyway.
Yeah, his timing was brilliant.
Oh my god, maybe it was Teo's timing too, though. I mean, to be fair,
right? But
it was the whole package just.
But Miles had his say in all of that.
Oh sure.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I also closing. We have a Sanctuary, right? Which is a Wayne Shorter composition, and is actually left over from the quintet. It's the quintet had played that song in 68, 69 in different variations, more like a ballad, slower. It's actually inspired by Frank Sinatra, Mike. So Wayne Shorter.
Hey now you're talking my language.
I forgot the name of the Sinatra song that Wayne Shorter is referring to. I'm gonna pull that out and let you know later.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. I'll look it up.
So yeah, it was highly influenced by Frank Sinatra. I can't remember from the top of my head right now, but it's cool because it starts super. So I think it's the more like structured song in the whole record, right? It starts like a ballad, super normal. There's this building there with Wayne playing, and it's typical Wayne composition. You can tell it's a Wayne Shorter song with that start. But then it kind of builds up and gets into the mass of chaos, right? Everything gets so intense, the drumming, the horns get in. And I think it's like, okay, guys, you made it to the end. Let's cool down, but no, let's boom. let's hit it to the very end. But I think it's a good closure. It's probably a song that looks like a leftover because it is a leftover. It's kind of displaced.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great closure. What do you guys think?
Well, I just looked it up. So the Frank Sinatra song in reference is "I Fall in Love Too Easily,"
Exactly,
which is a great track. And actually, it says here that Miles actually recorded it in 7 Steps to Heaven, and then Wayne Shorter's composition "Sanctuary" from Bitches Brew as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that was great, Felipe. And we could talk about pressings. I don't even think we need to. I have like a 360 pressing from the first year it came out. I think it was so it's technically a second pressing. It's this one. Mm-hmm. This is sufficient for me. I'm sure that there's better pressings, but the way that I listen to this and experience it, like I mentioned, like I just put it on and it sets an atmosphere in my house. And not that I'm not actively listening, I am, but I don't know if I feel like I don't need any more than this at this point.
No, that's fine. Yeah, great.
Maybe I will. And I did want to mention maybe like how people approach this. And I'm not qualified to talk about how people should approach music, but I'll just say from my experience, one thing that, and we touched on it a little bit earlier, one thing that really does kind of help me discover music and it is the context of who's playing, what they're doing, and the year that it's happening. So we mentioned like there's Benny Maupin, Chick Corea, Wayne Shorter. They all have different groups. We like Benny Maupin and Lenny White are on this, and I mentioned that there's that Blackstone Legacy. They played with Woody Shaw. And it's like, so like once you start like making these connections, who's playing with what? Ron Carter played on In a Silent Way, and he didn't play on this. That was his last one. That's like an interesting data point. And then they bring in who do they bring in on bass on this? It's
Dave Holland.
Dave Holland. So like, and then knowing where like Dave Holland played with
Harvey Brooks. Harvey Brooks.
And Harvey Brooks. So one is playing electric. So Harvey Brooks plays electric, and Dave Holland plays acoustic. Yeah.
And Dave Holland played with Chick Corea.
Yeah. And Dave Holland plays. So it's just like, and we could go on and on and on because there's so many musicians here. But like, yes, like listen to the music. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, that's ultimately the case. But I will say, like, a lot of times, the reason why I kind of focus on jazz is because I focus on these musicians, and I go down these rabbit holes of who they play, and it makes me kind of, I don't know, that's just how I kind of discover music. And you could see that when I go back to this Norman Granz stuff. You could see that when I move forward with the AACM stuff, what they're doing on Black Saint with the loft jazz scene in New York, when they go over to Italy. It's like, it's not, for me, it's all of that. Like learning about all these artists, all these histories. And if you're just getting into jazz and you're coming in and you like the hard bop stuff and you're just learning about Art Blakey and you listen to Miles and you don't know any of these musicians that he's playing with and it sounds very different, that's fine. Like just leave it at that. But like there might be a point where like you do learn about these musicians and you're like, I get like, this is so cool that like they're on this session and this is the producer, and then after this they go on to do that, and you start putting these pieces together. And again, that doesn't mean you like the music you like, but I feel like that when you connect it to that whole history, and we do that with rock, you do it with other genres too. But for me, that's what I love to do when I discover music. And when I was able to kind of do that with Miles, I don't know. I love Miles. I mean, I love I showed a record earlier on the live stream. I know this is going to be a snippet for people watching later, but I showed stuff that he was putting out in 51, 53. We were talking about Birth of the Cool, which is like late 40s stuff. And now we're talking about 1970s. And it's like that whole lineage, like it's all worthy of studying and learning about and listening to and having fun with, and that's what I like to do. So
you make it sound like homework, man.
Well, I'm just saying. So for people who they feel like this isn't their thing, it may not be your thing. It may never be your thing, but also it may be at some point, and it's worth just keeping an open mind with music.
For sure.
That's a great point. I mean, I was just kidding earlier. If you don't like this record, I don't care. Like what you want to like. We don't judge anyone about what they like. If Kenny G is your favorite jazz artist, that's great. Like, I'm not being facetious either. I'm like serious. Like, who cares? But there's a couple of questions talking about pressings.
Yeah,
I have the MoFi. I think it sounds great. I had the regular like $20, $25 Sony Legacy before that. It sounded great. The CD I had in the 90s sounded great. Like what are y'all's pressing preferences or
I was just going to ask you. You beat me to the punch. I was going to ask you what you had.
Yeah.
The MoFi I've heard is really good from everybody that I've in the past heard from. I think maybe the same as Mike. Mine's the 1970 press. It's not a 2i, but it is the next label. But it's
the 360.
Yeah,
it is a repress from 1970.
That's what I have.
Yeah, Indiana press.
It might as well be an OG, basically.
Yeah, and it sounds phenomenal, and I'll never need another copy. I paid $15 for that at Lunchbox. I don't know, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah. I have the CD, the original CD, the Legacy CD. I have the Complete Sessions. I have this 40th, and I have the MoFi. I used to have a 360 label, so when I got the MoFi, I just passed it on.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, the MoFi is more refined, more detailed, but the 360 is pretty good as well. And I think just reinforcing what Mike said on the whole experience, right? I think when people say we mix rock with jazz, I think it's kind of weird because it's not rock and it's not jazz, but at the same time touches both. I think Beaches Brew is very focused on rhythm, so it's something that you actually feel. If you think, I'm not into Beaches Brew because I don't get it, I don't understand it, I think Beaches Brew is not something to be understood, it's something to be felt, right? I think that's pretty much what we all are saying here. It's something that's going to bring you emotions. It's going to feel like, I heard this before. I never heard like this. I can't forget this rhythm here. It's catchy, or it just blew my mind. I think it's something that you feel. Don't worry. You don't have to get it. I think you don't have to understand it. You have to feel and like it. And if you didn't get it first time, give it a second time and see how it goes, But I think try not to judge it or to label or put in a box. Just be open-minded, and if you didn't like it now, maybe you're going to like it in 10-20 years, or you're never going to like it, but it doesn't matter. I think
personally, I think you need to play that record loud.
Yes.
Because that's the way that band was.
And I listen to it in both ways. I mean, like the way Mike talks about using it, listening to it while you're doing stuff, and it's like the vibe in the room, and also just like turning the lights out and sitting alone, in the dark, listening to the whole fucking record. Pretty cool too.
Chris, isn't there an interview with Lenny White and about his drum that he used in this band?
I think so. Yeah. He was like, didn't he use like a giant bass drum or something?
Yes. Yeah. There's like a special bass drum that he made
24 inch or 26 inch or something.
Yeah. It's like made from like an oil can. It's like an oil can bass drum.
Does he still have it?
I don't know.
I think it might be in like a museum now, honestly.
Yeah, I know it's accounted for.
I think we talked about that when Ken McAuliffe talked to him 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
That was a good interview. Yeah,
that was a good interview.
Now the other question was, have I ever listened to this record while tripping? And so I want to relate this to another record because they're both kind of equally important to me throughout my history. Pink Floyd's The Wall, right? I relate that record to this record because those are just kind of time period wise for me, how they related. And yes, listening to Pink Floyd The Wall on LSD is quite the experience, but listening to Bitches Brew on mushrooms is dude. Like you start tasting the music and seeing it. So
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So let's all go out in the woods in the dark and do mushrooms and listen to Bitches Brew.
On that note, should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. Felipe, thank you for taking us through that. That was great.
Absolutely.
This is an album that I think we all love, and thanks for hanging out. Remember to like and subscribe. Please share this. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about Bitches Brew. And also, if you want to know what the next Record of the Week album is, join our Jazz Bums Discord. We have a channel dedicated to this. That's where we do our announcements. So that's linked in this description, or if you're watching this on the live stream, in the live stream description. So come there and you can see what the next week's record will be. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
And we'll let you know once we figure it out.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
Hey, that was great.
Yeah,
All
good
right,
job,
cool.
Felipe.
That was cool, man.
Good job, everybody.
Nice
Wrap
job,
this
Felipe.
thing up.
Yeah, we're done with that. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'm just stoked Nicole got to see this live because I mean that's all I when I hear a record like this, that's all I think about. Man, I would have loved to have seen this in person.
Well, that's one of the advantages of it being old. So I got to see all the cool. I saw Mahavishnu opening up for Mahavishnu opening up for Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
That Mahavishnu in New York City in Central Park. Ooh, that record. Oh man, they are on fire all the time.
Wow,
I love that record. Now,
Roberto, I think the ship sailed on the Sunny Village Vanguard video, maybe.
And I have a really nice thumbnail for the channel ready to go. So if anybody if Chris or Felipe want to do it,
we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we do it by ourselves, just the three of us. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I didn't get it.
Now,
well, you have a copy of the record anyway.
I do. Yeah. I have it.
Somebody, one of you three has to get me the Jazz Fiend shirt. Whatever that logo you made with the skull for the Jazz Bums, the Jazz Fiend or something.
Oh yeah, it's the Misfits. Yeah, I can send you that.
Do you actually have a T-shirt with that on it?
I can put it on it if you want it.
Let's do it, man.
Somebody's got to make that.
That'll be cool. Yeah.
Just if I don't do it tomorrow, just shoot me a message. It should take. I have the graphic, so it'll take me 2 seconds to put it up.
Yeah, let's do that. We could probably sell some shirts, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna make a shirt for that for me.
It's a
everybody's ripped off the Misfits fucking cover, dude. Like
that's what's up.
Here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want that on a t-shirt too. Now it's the best idea.
That is dope.
This is how we retire, Mike.
Cool. Yeah.
Black t-shirt.
Sure. Jerry only.
Yeah, reel them in and sell them the merch.
Yeah, you're gonna be scrolling for a while to get back to it if you're looking at it on Instagram, man.
I am. Hold on. Hope I can find it.
Mike, you got more records to show. I know you do. And Felipe does
too.
And
I'm watching Mike in the background scroll.
I just have one. My stuff is very modest.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I doubt it. Let's see what you got, Felipe.
Oh, I only have a blue note.
Oh, hang on. Yeah.
That's kick-ass.
I need that in my life.
Yeah, I'll put it on a shirt. Cool. Yeah.
You should make like a Ramon style with the names around the logo. That would be cool.
I'll be right back. The dogs are fighting each other.
Right, Chris?
Yes, absolutely. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. And when Nicole comes back,
I'm here. I'm just
here. Okay, cool. Never mind.
So
I'm taking Mike off the stream while he's gone. There we go. So it's 4. It's all nice and.
So excuse me.
Sweet. Well, that was fun talking about Bitches Brew, man. I think that was probably the best record of the week video we've done.
Oh yeah, and I just can't get enough of Bitches Brew. It's just so good. It's just so good.
Yeah, you had a really good breakdown of that one, Felipe.
We're gonna have to do Headhunters at some point, obviously, Felipe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We need to do it this year because it's the 50th anniversary. So.
Felipe, do you do that while you're doing a root canal?
Yeah, he thinks about it when he's doing He's doing the play and he's all just, you know. Yeah, and then he's thinking about what he's going to say on the record. Yeah.
You're done. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Rob had to go to sleep because he's tired ass. Roberto.
He was tired looking at high-end audio equipment.
Yeah.
He's like what's that? Store hopping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a stack of 60 records he just got. He's got to listen at some point.
Well, he's kind of turning into Sophie
how
from
he
the
does
living
it.
world.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. I get a boatload of CDs, and I barely could get maybe 3 in.
Yeah.
Not in a day. Between work and whatever, I don't have.
Yeah.
It's
I try to get in 2 records every night minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
I usually go 2 or 3 as well. I think that's what I can do
7 days a week, 2 or 3.
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
and then on the weekends, man, when I'll spend like 8 hours just listening to records on a Saturday or Sunday, you know.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
see, I do I'll get a stack of 7 inches and stuff like that and go through a bunch of those on Saturdays.
Yeah,
because I have a lot of 7 inches too. Like, well, lately it's been a lot of punk 7 inches that I've been finding. So
yeah,
I just don't have the patience for 7 inches for some reason, man.
Yeah. To me, like sometimes I go like on a I'm gonna play 7 inches today. Then I sit right next to the player and I have to keep like switching.
Yeah.
But because I have like big speakers in not such a huge room, if I sit too close, like it gets too bassy. I have to sit, so I have to go back and forth to switch the records. But still, it's a fun experience for sure. It's really.
You know what? One thing I guess that is unique about so I do all my listening in here. I've got a turntable in the living room, but I never use it because everybody yells at me when I try to play jazz in the rest of the house. You know. But having my turntable right next to me while I'm doing that, while I'm working and playing on the computer at night, doing whatever, it makes it very convenient to listen. So,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good setup.
Yeah. I mean, I used to have my turntable in my bedroom many times, but now I don't. I just use the headphones.
Speaking of listening, how do you listen? Are you doing you are sitting by, like you said, by your computer and listening with your turntable, but a lot of people say, they'll be off and doing something in the house and it's on. So
yeah.
Do you sit in between a pair of speakers and listen, or?
Yeah, I've got 2 speakers like right here next to my monitors. It's not like that most ideal setup, but it sounds pretty good to me. I mean, whatever. I'm half deaf anyway. I went to a bunch of rock concerts in the 90s and shit, so I can tell if a record sounds like shit though. So
Yeah.
I mostly listen with headphones.
Well, I've been thinking about like instead of spending a bunch of money on a new setup in here for speakers that are gonna be a foot from my head, I thought about getting some headphones and like a cool headphone amp and trying it out.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have a room so I can sit there and with a nice chair. Not nice, but a comfy chair, I'd say. But when I'm doing like regular stuff, I just I use Room and just stream. It's easier, or play CDs and put I have a 5-drawer CD, so I can put like a selection, and keep them playing there, which helps. In my living room I have like a Class D amp with a streamer and a pair of nice bookshelves that I have those bookshelves like 12 years. I love them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So real quick, Fluffy, I don't know about this deal. Can you tell me about it in the comments below?
No, let us know.
You guys want to see some records?
Yeah, I just wanted to say Patty had some really great comments about Bitches Brew when we were recording, and totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to see some records.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I sound, no pun intended, but I sound like a broken record because every goddamn stream I'm on, I'm talking about Norman Granz. But that's where I'm into right now. And there's a lot of great stuff that he put out, a lot of musicians that he worked with. So I've been picking those off, and I've been finding really good prices on these. And yeah, I mean, I think people, I know people are collecting how they want to collect. It took me this time of collecting all these other things before I started really focusing on these. So whatever you want, but the only thing I could say is that I'm so enjoying all of these, and I just ignored them forever. So Norman Granz put out his Norgran record label, and And this record here I picked up. This came in recently. This is Piano Interpretations by Bud Powell. Sorry, I just lagged a little bit. This is a David Stone Martin cover on Norgran.
That's the one you told me about. Nice.
So Norgran, I think they have a few different sequences. This is the the 1000 sequence. I think Norgran N1000 is a Stan Getz record. So one thing I'm noticing, and this may not be right, so if somebody knows more than me, but a lot of the guys he put out were older. They've been around for many years. Stan Getz, I think, was a younger guy, and not that he didn't play with the early guys or anything, but it seemed like Stan Getz was kind of an exciting guy that Norman Granz was really promoting. Gave him the first title in the 1000 series, put out a ton of his stuff, had a ton of collaborative stuff with a lot of these great musicians. But yeah, so I got this Bud Powell. This is a trio. Art Taylor's on drums.
Nice.
Who the hell's on bass on this? Oh, the other thing I want to mention. This is important. Oh, George DeVivier. So I know George DeVivier because he played with Lockjaw and Shirley Scott on those cookbook records. But he's playing with Bud Powell here. So one thing I wanted to notice is that on these Norman Granz records, they don't have lineups on the back, which I find really annoying. But I think I know why they don't. Also, am I lagging? I feel like, in my view, I'm lagging. Do I sound okay?
Okay.
So I think the reason, I think one of the reasons why he doesn't put it on, like who's on this. Now, in this instance, it's a trio and they play on every song, but he was putting stuff out that was like some sessions, like there's like 5 different sessions on one record, and it's like a Lester Young record, but it's like 5 different Lester Young records. And if you named every single musician, there'd only be like 20 musicians on the back.
Right.
So I think what he would do is just say, this is a Lester Young record, put some liner notes and just leave it at that. And in many cases, it is just one group there. I have a couple here to show, but I think I suspect that might be why, because, like when Blue Note was putting it out and Prestige, although Prestige, there's plenty of comps that were put out and they do list all the players. I just wonder if that was a limitation, that he was just like, you know what, we'll just put a leader on it and just leave it at that, because that's what he does. And it's frustrating because, I have to make notes about who's on this thing,
Oh no, so harmful.
Yeah, come on,
Slow down.
Okay,
You should remember from the sound, man.
Yeah, you should recognize every jazz musician.
Yeah, that's George DeVivier's bass.
DeVivier.
Yeah, dude, I have such a problem with that. Like, I want to be there someday, but I can't really recognize
what
everybody.
You can't be where?
No, I would love to be to the point where, like, if you play me a song that, oh yeah, that's such and such on the sax, I'm like,
right.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was in a record shop like a few months ago, and it was a jazz focused shop up in Canada. I forget the name of it now. It's a great shop, little pricey, but a great shop. And they were playing something. I'm listening to the sax. I forget what it was, but I'm listening. I'm like, I'm like, I know what time period this is. Like, I could hear how it sounds, and I'm like, who is that? Like, it sounds like nobody I could put my finger on. I asked the guy, and he's like, oh, this is Eric Dolphy at the 5 spot. I'm like, oh, Eric Dolphy. Yes, Eric Dolphy, of course.
Mike, do you have
so anyway, so I have an ear a little bit, but
Nice.
no, isn't that the ESP disc? Oh no, okay.
No, that's the Norgran original.
Oh
What
no,
is
I
it?
do not have that. That's a Bud Powell.
Yeah, that's Bud.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, very sweet.
This is really good.
Now, a lot of this stuff.
It's got a version around midnight on it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I didn't mention the songs, but it's Willow Weep for me. I think I think Bean and the Boys. Who's Bean? I forget who it is, but anyway, they do East of the Sun, West of the Moon, Heart and Soul. So they do some great. But yeah, so Norgran had this yellow label, and there is, I think, a black Norgran label too. And I don't think it really matters. I just think they just had 2 different labels.
So
everything's
press, man.
Everything's mono. Yeah, I got it for a really good price too. Okay, so that's the first one.
So braggy.
Okay, the next one, another David Stone Martin. This is Clef. So this is again
Cool, right?
Norman Granz. So this is Illinois Jacket, and my notes here. This one is a comp. This was recorded in 51 and 53, so a little earlier. This is pressed in 56 on Clef, obviously. and you have Russell Jacquet on it, who plays trumpet, and he's Illinois Jacquet's older brother, which
Wow.
I didn't even know that was a thing. But Russell Jacquet, like he's on a bunch of records. This
Really?
is just one of them. Yeah, him and Illinois Jacquet were on a few records
Cool.
together for sure. Cecil Payne is on this on Barry.
Oh, yeah.
Hank
Yeah.
Jones and Art Blakey.
Yeah.
So
these are
Killer.
like huge bebop guys, man. You know,
This is
Wow.
that's what I mean. I don't know why it took me so long,
Yeah,
but this is like nuts.
Yeah.
And then also, I am falling in love with the David Stone Martin stuff just because of, I don't know, just awesome. It's line work, but it's great. And you know, I don't know. But again, grooving. Doesn't say who the players are on it at all. It's on.
I can see how these would be fun to collect with the artwork and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's
Yeah.
great news.
And these
So, maybe I'll hang on real quick. I just want to respond to Fluffy. He's
Sure.
talking about the record deal on or the music deal on Twitch. So maybe I'll start leaving the VODs up and see if I don't get banned now that there's a music deal. Sweet. All right. Anyway.
So this is Clef. There you go. Nice and clean.
Yes.
Again, I can't remember how much I paid, but it was like, I don't know, like $24 or something for this.
Yeah.
And Illinois Jacquet, you know, not on this. Actually, if you go and sample this on YouTube, they attribute the wrong record to this, and they have one that is an organ instead of a piano. So if you go like, I want to go check this record out, the one that is going to look like this on YouTube is actually not the right record. They put I put a comment in saying like it's the wrong record, the wrong songs, wrong musicians. But yeah, the organ one, this one's piano with Hank Jones, and it's awesome. So don't let that trip you up on this record.
That.
Yeah, they should be whipped with reeds.
Agreed. What the hell was I going to say about it? Anyway, I'll just keep moving on.
Well, I
So-
mean, I want to say some Illinois Jacquet's an underappreciated player, man. I mean, he was a big.
This is what I was going to say. This record a little bit, but there's other stuff I had sampled with Illinois Jacquet and Ben Webster. They collaborated a lot. A lot of these guys are on the same sessions. There's stuff that sounds like proto rock and roll to me. Like it just sounds like it is a blues, and this is like it. You know, there's it doesn't like it. I'm not.
Texas.
Yeah, he's Texas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Texas Tenor.
So anyway, so check it out, Texas Tenorman. Now this one came up. I think it was mislisted because this is one of the more expensive Nordgren records, and I'm so happy to get it. This one has a kind of a ridiculous name, Creamy, and this is Johnny Hodges lead and David Stone Martin. It's got the Munster cheese Dummel hi-fi, right?
That was a nice shape, cover wise.
It's great. Look, even the spine.
Oh man,
this was listed for $30. This is like $150 record. Yeah.
Was that on eBay?
On Discogs. On Discogs. They must. And I there's a reason why, because there's a second entry for the first pressing that says like this one doesn't have a framed cover and it's never been sold before. And somebody listed this one as that. And I go, let me just take a risk on it. And it came in. It's a first pressing. So
framed cover like the Thad Jones Blue Note.
Frame cover like let me see if you could see it here. Hold on. So when a frame cover just means, you see how there's like they basically do a tip on. They do a tip on, but like
front.
I don't know if it comes off, but like there's a frame. There's a frame on it.
Yeah.
Old Blue Notes have
the
it.
cover is pasted on the rest of the packet.
Old Capitol Frank Sinatra records have it. It's just a sign of the vintage, basically. It's just how they did the record covers. But anyway, this one, Nordgren, this one's really cool. I love this one. And it's a 1955 recording, pressed in 55. Clark Terry on trumpet. Lawrence Brown, who is a Ellington guy. He plays trombone. Killer blues trombone player as well.
You know, I like trombone now.
Harry Carney, who's another, I'm pretty sure he's Ellington, and he is a baritone sax player. Incredible.
He's probably like one of the top three or four baritone sax players of all time.
Awesome. Billy Strayhorn's on piano.
Nice.
And then Jimmy Wood on bass. And then the drummer and the there's like another player. I didn't know who they were, so I didn't write their name down. Sorry, I probably should have, but you know,
Yeah, so some pros on there.
Just
Yeah,
fuck
it's a
those guys' families,
killer.
Mike. Fuck them, huh?
Killer record. What are they doing? Yeah, they do like the first track on this is a ballad melody or medley rather, which medleys are great. And I actually was introduced to medleys because of Frank and Dean Martin, because like they would do these live TV shows and they would just go through songs. Like they would just be like basically just doing the hits really quick, like and just goofing off. And they would just go, they would do basically like 10 minutes and they'd go through like 30 songs. It was great. Yeah. So this is a ballad medley, and so Harry Carney's the first soloist, then Clark Terry, then Jimmy Hamilton, then Lawrence Brown. So they all get, so the first track on this, they all get a solo. And that's essentially like most of the first side. Like you see where the band breaks for the first track?
Yeah.
That's the first track. So it's a long, long song. So this one's really cool. That's a cool one to get. Okay. And then two more. This one. Sweets, Harry Edison and his orchestra. Now this traditionally, hey Chris, so this one traditionally I'd be like, and his orchestra, I don't want to hear an orchestra. It's not an orchestra. It's just what they call his group. I don't know why they call it an orchestra.
It's an orchestra, man. It's his orchestra, dude.
But it's a small group. Again, it doesn't attribute who's on it because they just don't do that.
Oh no, look at this, Mike.
Great cover. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, Chris. All right, and it's on Clef. Really nice. You can see, look at that last song, nice wide band.
Yeah.
You get some long stretches. And then who's on this? So this is really cool. So this is a 56 session, 56 pressing on Clef. Harry Edison, obviously trumpet. Ben Webster is with him. Jimmy Rowles and Barney Kessel. Barney Kessel is on a lot of these sessions. Yeah, I only knew Barney Kessel because I was like, he's like some like lame like West Coast like guitar player playing on contemporary. He's badass. Yeah, Barney Kessel's badass. So
he's badass then.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, music to listen to Barney Kessel to kind of sucks. I will say.
Oh man, listen to those Julie Long.
Oh, that's a great, Felipe. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay, and then one last one. This is not Norgren. So because of all this stuff, I've been talking with Chris and Felipe and others about my obsession with this because every week I have a new obsession. But this one has stuck for at least 3 weeks, so this one's a big one for me.
Yeah, it's true.
But the thing is. The thing is, what I'm learning is that all these guys that Norman Granz was working with, not all of them, but a lot of them were guys from the big band. So Basie and Ellington, and some other ones.
They're being dismantled, or they were getting too big for the orchestras.
Exactly. And we could definitely go into that history, but because of that, I was like, well, I want to actually hear I wanted to like hear the stuff that they did with Ellington. Like if they're from Ellington and I love this stuff, like what did they do with Ellington? So I grabbed this. This is an RCA pressing. This is a compilation of 78s from 1940 to 1942.
Oh,
and it has
cool.
it has like Jimmy Blanton. So like that new reissue from Pablo that Chad put out, this one's for Blanton. Yeah. This one's that's Jimmy Blanton. That's who Ellington and Ray Brown are talking about. So Blanton's on here. Harry Carney on baritone sax, who I just mentioned, on here. Johnny Hodges, Ben Webster. There's a bunch of guys on here. So I got this, and I will say I don't like it as much as that other stuff because this is from the early 40s and it is in that pre-war big band Cotton Club style. But I still appreciate it. I think it's fascinating to listen to, and that you can even go earlier, Ellington, with the like late 20s, early 30s stuff. I was sampling that, streaming that. I don't think I need that on a record. I feel like I'm totally fine just like streaming it because it's not like it's not great sounding recordings or whatever. But anyway, I feel like Duke Ellington. I don't have a great understanding of his work. Like like I was talking with Whatcom Brown and Felipe and Chris about this, but like my earliest Ellington was the Masterpieces, which was put out in 1950. Okay, that's the one that Chad put out with the red cover, double LP 45 that Fremer helped select. That's my earliest one. And Ellington had over 2 decades of a career before that I just didn't know about. This at least helps fill in a gap there. So I think it's so I like that. I like the music's good. But it's interesting. And then most of my Ellington stuff is like Newport, Pablo, Johnny Hodges on Verve.
You did find a 78 though, you told me.
Yeah, but I can't play the damn thing yet.
Yeah,
I need to get I will, for sure I will. But anyway, so but I got this RCA. It sounds good. It's clean. And it's not early, but it's 40 to 42 Ellington. And they're doing like Take the A Train, they're
great,
standard
great cut.
Perdido. There's great tracks like Cottontail in a mellow tone, which is the title track of this. And there's plenty of other stuff that's not on this too that's worth learning about. But anyways, I just wanted to get something just to help fill that early Ellington stuff, to help kind of inform this Norgran stuff that I'm doing. And I want to do that with Basie too. I want to get some early Basie stuff. So if anybody does have any recommendations on maybe some like 40s Basie stuff that is a good compilation of his 78s or something, let me know. I haven't found one yet, but if you do want the early
Kansas City guy, he'll know.
Yeah,
but
get the Super Chief. Get the one I showed you in our chat. The twofer.
Yeah, but they're more like a
Chief.
traveling. Yeah, they're more like a traveling band, not recording much, anyways, or just recording a couple of tracks for release.
So, and that's the RCA Victor label. So anyway, so this was cool, and I'm happy to get it. And I know Ellington is important, and everybody says Ellington's important, but like I want to internalize that. I want to know what that means. Like, why is he important? And I'm starting to learn why. Like, what he did in this early era was amazing on like composition wise, putting a band together and being successful wise and being influential wise, and then all his guys moving on and doing these Norgran things and many other things. I'm sure that's not just limited to that.
Well, he looked out for his guys in his band too, man.
Absolutely. But the thing is, and then that early 50s stuff, when you look at the late 50s stuff, all the Bud Powell recorded for Blue Note too. Like it all bled into the Blue Note stuff. So like it's cool to kind of understand like how fucking awesome jazz was before like the mid 50s, because I feel like I've been so focused on like 50
Crouch. Simple.
Have you heard Money Jungle?
Exactly.
Mike?
Yeah.
Have you heard the album Money Jungle?
Money Jungle.
I have Money Jungle. I have the Tone Poet. Yeah. Very special on that is like that is unbelievable.
Killer LP.
That's Max Roach and Charles Mingus. That's just like next level shit. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Felipe.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say we were talking. I was reading on Marshall Arroyo, right? So Marshall Arroyo, saxophone player from the West Coast, he's the one that referred Mingus to play with Duke Ellington in his orchestra. But it didn't last long, and that's where the whole animosity came from. That was going to culminate in the Money Jungle. That's why Money Jungle was not a very happy session.
Yeah, and it never resulted in a follow-up.
Yeah,
unfortunately, that was amazing. But anyway, also that energy produced that. So as much as there was conflict, ultimately it worked.
But back to, you're talking about the Ellington band and all the dudes. That was everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All those players that were playing hard bop that were not 18 years old, came from bebop and the big bands.
Well, who I love.
Changed, and the big bands weren't really, when jazz's audience shrunk so much that the big bands weren't really feasible to keep on the road.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So expensive.
Oh,
yeah,
you had to have people earlier, didn't you?
What's that?
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Okay.
Chris.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
I was just saying the big bands were not feasible to keep paying.
No,
right?
because
Like that music lost
Financially.
popularity, right? So
Yeah,
Right.
depression. You either eat or go see a band, right?
Yep. And the one other insight that I'll share is as I'm sampling all this stuff and trying to figure out where to best, what to get and when. I have to say that the player that I'm most in love with out of all these guys is Lester Young. His stuff, I feel like, because the thing is, like, I like the Benny, like the Ben Websters, the Benny Carters, the Illinois Jack Cats. I like all them. And I want more of their stuff. But I feel like Lester Young, he came from the Basie band, and the Basie band swung in a different way, right?
Yep. Kansas City.
And I just feel like Lester comes in with like a different edge to like his style. Like I feel like I don't know, like maybe it's proto hard bop or something. Like it's like he's got like a little extra edge to him in a way that I really love. And so right now I showed 2 weeks ago, I had a Lester Young, and then I have another one in the mail coming in. But I want to get a bunch of stuff from everybody, but Lester Young, I mean, this is, obviously he's fucking Lester. He's the president, right? Like,
he's number one.
But it's just like, I realize why he's so great. His stuff is phenomenal. And his stuff with Teddy Wilson in particular.
Yeah.
The Teddy Wilson, Lester Young sessions are fucking awesome.
I mean, Lester Young was a very sensitive person too. Like he had problems, with people, talking bad about him or whatever.
Okay.
But I mean, the Bay Band were the killers, man. They'd show up to your town and play you the fuck out of the room, and you would just be like sad sacking it back to your house because they just fucked you up. I mean, that's and then that sound just kind of spread across the country.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's what I've been kind of looking into. And my Discogs, if I showed it right now, I have 20 items in my cart that I can't get them all. It's just too much money, but like it's
hit buy it now, right now. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do
all except for like 2 of them. I do have some I do have some Indian navigation in there that I do want to get as well. But other than that, it's like all this old stuff that I want it all.
Well, you're still young enough; you could be able to do it.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I think jazz really starts with a hack and suck.
Yeah, so give me a break. Yeah.
Well, there was
all jazz roads lead back to Lester Young. That's what Teddy always said.
I think it ends in 1965. Okay.
Yeah, shit.
There was a magazine that came out of LA back in the 70s called Bebop and Beyond. And that's a good way to describe the music. You listen to it from the beginning to the end, or if there is an end.
Let's hope there's not.
There isn't. Yeah, there isn't.
Dude, this is a great idea. Share screen live credit card destruction, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, Don did it the other day.
I will say,
Eddie's got a compelling argument too. Buy now or cry later, man.
Right.
Let me tell you something. I won't show it because there are things in my cart that these are the only copies available right now. So everybody just needs to chill out and let me get what I need to get.
I think I'm just going to start searching for Norgran records. There's only a single copy.
I'm trying to learn what a true record.
You know what? Honestly, if other people get it, good on them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mike. The stuff you're buying, I'm not in.
I got plenty. I
think they're cool, but
no, I agree, Nicole. I was joking around earlier, and I was saying how I had those. I had some Blue Note LT series in my cart. I had some more avant-garde stuff in my cart, and all that stuff. When I put it in my cart and don't buy it, within a few days, like somebody else grabs it.
Yeah.
This stuff is just sitting there. Nobody's buying it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, that's good for me, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
OJCs, we definitely encourage people to chip in $2, $5, or $10 if they want. And if you do, we'll definitely buy records with the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what we do. When we get
Yes.
YouTube money every few months and we get enough money to buy a record, we definitely spend it on buying records for sure.
Patty, I am looking into the Lester Young Aladdin stuff. That stuff is expensive, but I will. There's a Blue Note twofer that they put out. I don't know if anybody has it here. It's Lester Young's Aladdin sessions. So that means it's under. It's under the tutelage of Joe Harley. If he wants to put out Aladdin reissues, he could do.
Oh
that.
my God! Yes, that's a great
Right?
idea.
So
Yeah,
next time we speak with Harley, I think we have to probe.
How does
him
that
on
sound, Dave?
What's that?
How's the sound on that?
So
That's
they're
fine.
Yeah.
It's probably the best that thing can sound.
Yeah.
I mean, it's these are well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Nice.
recording, like, is it a good? Is it what is the quality of the
Well, I mean,
recording?
it's old. It's older stuff. It's not.
Yeah.
Mike.
Mike. Speaking of Norman Granz and
Here we
jazz
go.
at the Philharmonic and that sort of thing, I was listening to this yesterday. I mean, this is a Pablo, and this is from a little bit later, but this is a really cool three LP set.
Yeah, 53. Holy shit!
Yeah, this is from '53. So
That's going into Mike's
and you can get this for probably $20.
Dude, I have so many in there. I love that. That's the Norman Granz trumpeter on the cover.
Yeah, exactly. So this was in Japan. Some of the guys, Roy Eldridge is on here, Charlie Shavers. Let me see, Benny Carter, Ben Webster, Oscar Peterson, Herb Ellis, Ray Brown. And that's just like the first. So there's like these different sections of the recordings, right? So the first section is the Jazz at the Philharmonic All-Stars, which is a band of its name. Then you got a section of Oscar Peterson Trio, George Krupa Trio, Ella Fitzgerald and her quartet, and then Ella Fitzgerald with the whole band.
Okay.
Now, the sound quality on this is not great. Like it was recorded in like a club in Japan,
Right.
in a theater. And so it's not like audiophile at all, but I think it's worth.
Is it bad though?
It's not bad. It's just like when they all get really jamming, it gets a little muddy. Like the bass gets a little muddy with the drums and shit like that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Yeah, 53 is pretty early. But I will say, like, I had like a misconception in my head. I always thought the Jazz at the Philharmonic sessions didn't sound good. And then I started streaming them, and they sound fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound really good.
53 is a little early, but yeah, they do.
So yeah,
but there's a lot of the jazz at the Philharmonic shit on Bird too.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, they reissued
years.
There are numerous reissues of that stuff. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find one real quick.
But yeah, there's a couple of those in my cart as well. But I just can't. I can't be dropping like, these are not. Some of them are cheap, but most of them are. Most of them are like, $40, $50, $70, $80, $90 a pop. So it's like, there's a couple in there that are $80, and it's like, I get both of those, it's $160 already. It's like, it adds up quick.
Yeah, and Mike, they got to be tough to find in good condition.
Exactly. Well, yes.
Speaking of Lester Young, I paid $10 for this in like 4 years ago.
So,
but this is one of the Verb reissues, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so this is mid-50s sessions with Harry Edison, Oscar Peterson, and others. So that's one. And this is like, I paid $10 for this.
Yeah, I'd like to know which sessions are on there.
Well, so they're, let's see.
Does it say the years at least?
Well, it's said on the cover, they're from the mid-50s.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of really tiny for me to read, honestly. New glasses, shit. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever.
But this one's a single LP, and then I also have kind of the same type of thing. This one is a 2 LP.
Okay.
That's the series Rob was showing earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I paid $6 for this one. This is small group sessions with Nat King Cole, Hank Jones, and Lewis. And this is a session from 45, 50, and then 50 and 51.
Yeah, Nat King Cole's on some of this stuff for sure.
Yeah, and so somebody, so yeah, this is 2 LP. I mean, pick this shit up if you just want some kick-ass Lester Young stuff. It's got really extensive notes on the inside and history and all that. So these are great.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
a
no,
lot of the newer grade
definitely.
stuff, like I know Mike, you like those nice covers and all that. But if people
Yeah,
are
yeah.
interested in those records, a lot of those records are reissued on Verve for you can get them $5, $6, $7, $8.
They are. Yeah, I'm like so like in terms of my collecting, I'm holding out for these first pressings, which compared to like Blue Notes, they're like cheap. But the reissues on Verve, which will have a different cover, and they'll have like Deep Groove, and some of them have the trumpeter logo on the cover. They're really nice pressings, and you can get them in like VG plus. The guy bought it, never played it condition for like $20. So it's stuff that you can get. It is accessible. Not that get whatever you want. I don't care what you get, but I'm loving this stuff.
This one's not great, but I mean, because it's electronically engineered for stereo effect or whatever. But there's this Verve special products label that they did for a while, and there's a little bunch of jazz and the harmonic stuff on that. So this one is like Oscar Peterson Trio.
Yeah.
That
was one of the first thing I know. One of the first things I noticed was that the Oscar Peterson Trio was the rhythm section for a lot of these sessions.
Yes,
I knew Oscar Peterson through like We Get Requests, and I do have some of his Verve stuff where he's just in trio form and he's doing standards.
Yeah.
And I know there's other stuff that has been reissued, but like I didn't realize he was like the backing band for like a lot of these guys.
That's kick ass. I didn't know that, Eddie.
Yeah, like in his early 30s, Oscar it was piano, guitar and bass, no drums. So it's like piano, guitar, bass, and Lester Young. Yeah. So it's really cool.
Here's another cool one I just listened to this week. So this is this is from '82. It's Freedom Song, Oscar Peterson Trio, Big Four in Japan. So this is a 2 LP live in Japan set, and this is pretty killer. It's got Oscar Peterson, Joe Pass, Niels Henning Orsted Pedersen, and then Martin Drew on drums. So like good luck beating the talent on this record,
Bass player.
Yeah. But what's cool about it is that it starts off with just like Oscar Peterson solo stuff, because I think he was releasing a lot of solo records then. And then it's like then it's like Joe Pass and him, and then Joe Pass and an HOP play some duo stuff, and then it's like the whole band. So it really kind of progresses. It was like a well planned out kind of program, I guess you'd say. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then Mike, I mean, he also recorded 600 records at Verve or whatever, right? So
yeah.
Like Norman Granz. And then all the Pablo shit, like there's a lot to dig into Norman Granz for sure.
And Mike, I showed you the Clef series that got put out in the UK, right? On Columbia. Last time we were looking at Lester Young records.
No, I don't think you showed. Can you remind me?
Clef series.
Yes. So that's the Columbia one, the UK Columbia.
With the tip on.
Yeah, I've seen that on my searches. That's like a 200. The original pressing. That's like a $200 record.
This is the original.
Yeah,
pretty sure. Yeah, but I didn't pay anything for this. Lunchbox in the used bin.
Well, so the UK pressing is way more affordable, at least right now. But
okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, no. But it's a UK first pressing. I was thinking about getting that. That's cool.
It sounds really good.
Yeah,
like this is a really good sounding record.
Well, that's good to know. I might get that.
And this record swings.
Well, now someone's probably going to grab it, but there's one on eBay for $40 right now. It's like in great condition.
Yeah, you might be able to get one cheaper than 40, but that's a good.
Yeah, but then you got to import. I mean, it's $30 to import it from the UK. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I mean, how cheap do you get it?
That mess.
Yeah. Then I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I've experienced it once or twice. People complain about the grading coming out of the UK, that they misgrade records, and you'll get like
I don't know,
grossly undergraded records.
Yeah, I bought from the UK very often.
And I bought from Japan before, and they I ordered a Benny what was it? Curtis Fuller. I forgot the name of it. It's a Savoy. It came in. It was more scuffed up than what they reported. Yeah, and then even the jacket was a little dinged up, and I was like, because I get the impression that like everything from Japan is like pristine. It's like, well, not in this case.
Well, it usually is.
They're
So,
usually
but the point is, in the UK, the stuff I get from the UK, I've never had an issue with.
Yeah.
Like I buy those classical titles from the UK, and they're great.
Well, yeah, you really can't fuck around with the classical stuff. I mean, if they say it sounds good and it's beat to shit, it's going to be just atrocious, right?
Yeah.
They take care
How
of their
quiet and the dynamics, and the quiet parts and all that, right?
Yeah, yeah. The UK classical stuff is like it's very desirable. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
That's like the stuff, I mean, there's plenty of other stuff like on CDs, like new stuff that just recorded insanely well. But the old stuff, it's US and UK are kind of the best stuff.
How'd the classical bum stream go?
It was great. It was great.
I watched the whole thing, Mike.
Nice.
I just let them go because honestly, I can't hang with them. They're Mark Ward is a Peabody winning producer of classical stuff for like radio, like NPR and BBC. Really? Yeah, he's like I don't know why he's associated with me.
Yeah, no shit.
And then him and Poetry on Plastic are hard to get.
That's why Michael has a doctorate and is a working musician in the Navy band. The Air Force band.
Yeah.
And then Greg is, I mean, he's an artist. Like he's a proper artist that like makes it like I don't know how much, but like, looks like a shitload from like being an artist. And his like whole process is listening to classical while he makes his art, and they just know so much. And I'm so new. I mean, I try to make it my angle that like I'm the new guy. So if you're new, I'll try to, but I really let them talk, and then every once in a while I could chime in with something. But it's unbelievable. I just love it. I mean, I love that. I just feel like this channel has brought me in touch with so many great people. It's just fantastic. I don't know.
Mike, I'm in the same boat as you with that, a lot of that stuff, and I just soak it up like a sponge.
Yeah,
just names, and okay, where does this music go? Like I try to listen in on cues, things that I'm going to be interested in, and so when I see that stuff in bins, like I'm going on a dig in Greenville, South Carolina, next Saturday, and Horizon has an entire room that's mostly classical and jazz. That's all that's in that room. It's like a third of the store. And so now I have a lot of ideas on things to look for thanks to the classical bums.
Me too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very helpful for me.
I have to find out a better instead of bums for classical. It has to be a little bit more.
I know.
No,
it's not.
It can't be. It's got to be bums, man.
Classical
fiends. It works in one. I totally get that, Nicole. It works in one way because it's an extension of this channel, but it also doesn't make any sense because as Rob, like I messaged Rob about this, he's like, they're experts. Like we're actually bums when it comes to jazz. They're actually professionals. Like they're not bums. Like they make their income from this.
Yeah,
Mike. The records that Greg finds. That's the stuff that I'll
tell you what, if you watch one part of that stream, if you're interested in record, I mean, there's actually a few different pieces of that stream that are amazing, but just the record haul piece, if you're interested in that, towards the end, Greg shows a record haul he does, and Mark has like a meltdown because of how good it is.
Like, go back.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So anyway, we have fun. And we'll do it every couple months or whatever. It's it's semi-regular.
This reminded me of something. Have you ever seen Righteous Gemstones, the TV show? Did anybody watch that?
No, I didn't.
No. There's a character on there named Baby Billy. He's played by what's his name? Walter Goggins.
Yeah.
So it just from you being with these experts, Mike, that reminded me of Baby Billy because he told somebody one time, he's like, "Go outside, nerd. I don't have time for your worthless chime-ins." So that's like
But I
It
have
would be
heard
like
of
me
that
being
the
on
guy
there.
that
That's
was
why
in
I'm enjoying
the
that stream because I don't
Tarantino
know shit
movie?
about classical, you know.
I will, yeah.
Chris,
but I
was
am
that
like,
the guy in the Tarantino flick?
Which one? I
The
don't
guy that was
know.
Baby
Maybe.
Billy?
He's been in a. He was in The Shield, and he was in God, what's that show? Fuck with shit. What is that show? Oh, y'all ever watch
Tarantino
Deadwood on
flick under Alpha
HBO?
Winner.
You ever watch Deadwood on HBO?
Yeah, he was on that.
Well, he wasn't on that, but the main guy, what the fuck's his name? Like, oh, I can't remember. Anyway, there's another show that he was on where he played like this meth head, like gang leader and shit, and he was really good. And the other guys, I don't remember. He was like a U.S. Marshal or something. Yeah, he's in Fallout too. That's fucking cool. Anyway, Walter Goggins is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guy in the
But
comments,
we're-
Paul.
Chris, Felipe, and I are trying to come up with some ideas for new content. We have a few things we're floating around.
One of them's so overwhelming though, man.
Yeah, it's basically like top jazz records, which it's just even hard to think about, honestly. I think we spoke about it on this stream, but
Yeah.
the idea of like ranking jazz records, I just struggle with. I'm sure other people can do it, but
I can pull my top 5, and then after that, I can do.
That's the other thing. It's kind of how you word it. Like if it's like your top 5 favorite or whatever, you know, it's just like, okay, these are just what. But it's like if it's like the top 5 best jazz records, it's like I don't even know if you can actually answer that. Like if you ask all these jazz experts, like what they are, everybody would have everyone would have something different.
Yeah.
Where I think in rock, I think it would be more unified. Like what?
That's not true at all.
No, don't go there. It's just that
I'm going there.
No. It's just that it's a question of variety. Nobody can actually say the best of all time because nobody listens to everything that there is to start with, right? So
Right.
I think it goes to a point is amongst the stuff that you know, that you listen to, that you like, you're gonna put the best for you. And,
Right.
and I think if you're concerned to put a list, is because you're concerned about feedback. So it's if you're secure about what you like or not, screw what everybody else thinks.
Well, if it's framed in top 5 favorite, I'd be secure. But if it's top best, like Felipe, I don't know any Brazilian stuff. So like that means my top 5 best is not going to include an entire country.
Any list that you're putting together is, it's among the things that you know. And
Start with this one,
there's
Mike.
nothing wrong.
That's
with
why I think we have to be
Desert Island is.
we have to be smart about how we frame it, but we also have to be smart about how we do clickbait because we want people to click on it.
Well, here's what I think we should do. I think we should do our top. We're going to top 20 favorite records, but we label it as and we couch it as the absolute number 1 top 20 list of all fucking time for jazz records, and we each have our own list. It's not related.
Period. Yeah.
Period. So we'll do it. We'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about.
We used to
that.
do those things that exercise every once in a while, just put together.
Woo!
And that kept on changing all the time.
Chris, who are your top 5?
Go watch his video.
Was it a video or was it Instagram? Because he does Instagram too.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. So we'll figure it out. We'll do something. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But like all of our top 5 videos we ever do, it's always just in a moment in time.
Exactly.
Like Bitches Brew wouldn't have been in Mike's top 100 2
Yes.
years ago when we started the channel, and now it would be obvious. I would think, right?
Yeah. No, that's yeah. That's for certain.
He did a video. Chris did a video, so we'll have to check that out too.
Oh yeah, Chris went to see Billy Harper tonight.
So basically, I'm just going to look at Chris's video and copy his top 5, so I sound smarter than y'all.
Okay,
that's my new plan. Yeah.
I think I can. I think the top 5 are on the top of my head, but yeah.
Well, the other topic.
Yeah, let's hear what is your top 5? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, Duo Exchange is number 1. Frank Lowe and Ali.
Oh yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm being a trombone player. Evolution Moncour is in my top 5.
Wow. Okay.
Being a John Coltrane guy, Interstellar Space is in my top 5.
Okay, I'll put together one.
Sun Ra, Sleeping Beauty is in my top 5. And my number 5, that one might change from day to day.
Now the
That's
thing
why
is,
those
what
those
year-
4 came to mind right away.
It's
but
hard.
if you think about the time period those were put out, like, what if I said like, well, why don't you think about the 80s or 90s or something? Like,
Yeah.
are there anything that could be
Well,
considered?
if you narrow it down to a
Well,
decade,
of course, if you think about the 80s, like 40 years old, which was the age of the 50s stuff in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So
'Cause I feel like that when you watch like top. Sorry, Felipe.
no, I'm just gonna say I think it depends. I mean, it depends on.
Because that's the other thing. Like, I've been on streams before that are very lighthearted, and they say like, Mike, what are like the top jazz records? And like, it's like you look at all these lists online, and it's like Kind of Blue, Time Out, Love Supreme,
And
Mingus, like we can all rattle these off, and it's just
there's
like,
number 5.
but are they?
And it goes to the point, like you just say 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
People don't mention that because they don't know them. To be honest, if they knew them, they
Right.
probably It's
Well,
just
that's
like-
the other thing is, what is if you say like, what's the best? Say if you framed it as what's the best, what's the criteria for the best? Is it
Also
to be
the
the best? Does that mean the most influential, or does it not mean that? Because if you talk about
whatever
most
it means to you,
influential,
Mike.
but I'm just saying, like, if you were to say like, well, most, like, if I'm thinking of it like as most influential, then it's like Ellington, Charlie Parker, Louis Armstrong, Ornette Coleman, like those guys. But if
you're falling in the same trap, it's just because you don't know what came next.
You're overthinking it, Mike.
well, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you were Nicole, what are the 5 best jazz records? Like, how would you have to think about
Well,
what your criteria is?
Like for me, what
Exactly. Then comes the according to.
This is in there.
That's it. Simple.
according to how it feels to you.
What is that?
Individually.
What is that, Dave?
This is the Peter Lemmer Quintet, local color on ESP disc. Listen to this record.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing how good this record is. It's
Yeah.
to me one of the best on ESP disc. It's one of the best jazz records I've ever heard. I mean, it's definitely up there for me. It's,
You don't have to be
this
sorry
is
about
something
that.
else, and it almost never got put out.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't have to be sorry about that at all, Dave.
So it's
So Dave's got the crazy list down, so that's cool.
Yeah, you got to have a little variety.
yeah, it's so relative. And just going back here to let's do
You got
some
to do it
merchandise.
too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. I mean, but I can call my favorites my best. I mean, it's my taste.
Favorites is what we always do, so it makes it much
Yeah.
easier so Mike doesn't freak out and kill us all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Somebody in
want
the
to
comments said out to lunch. That's up there.
I just feel like I know, Felipe, you were saying like, don't make it a genre thing, but I just feel like for jazz in particular, there's just so much. Like, how do you rank this Bud Powell record against a Thelonious Monk record?
Yeah.
It's just like,
You say
I
which
don't
one you like
fucking
better.
know.
It's not hard.
No, but if
Plus-
if you frame it in like what your favorite is, but even that's hard.
Plus, there's
Think
another
of
thing to take into
what-
consideration,
What
right?
5 records would you pull out for if you have somebody coming over? for a
That's the
visit?
thing.
Well, that's a whole different thing. That's a
Yeah,
whole different
plus-
thing, Nicole.
Plus, Mike.
That's a great question.
Couple of things to think about too, like after the
Machine Gun
60s.
Brosman. That's what I'd call
I mean,
Nicole.
From the 60s and on, things
Well,
became like
that's how we get people out of the house.
Yeah, let Felipe talk.
Okay.
Keep going, Felipe.
Thank you, Chris. So if you think about after the 12-inch era, 50s and on, things became actual albums. The songs were longer, and there was like a theme behind it. All these guys that you said, Bud Powell, Monk, and Charlie, they were just recording tracks. They were put together. So as albums, if you think from this perspective, they're not good because they're just collections,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So there's another point.
That's a great point. So that is so that is a
that does
criteria.
That does not diminish the work, but
No.
as an album, is not a great thing.
Well, that's what, when we were talking about the Apple 100 list that came out and everybody's, and I was just saying, like, how could you like not include a Louis Armstrong record? But it's like, when you look at the early Armstrong stuff, they were 78 singles that were put out. And it's like, it's not an album in that sense. I mean, he did have albums as well, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
the
when you
100,
think like Bessie Smith, like, did she have, like, when you look at her best work, like, it's compilations of LP, like, that turned into LPs.
Yeah.
They were never recorded for this format. They were recorded for a single 78 RPM.
Mhm.
So anyway, so to your point, Felipe, they weren't concepts. They were, it was a little different.
So
Well,
this
and
is awesome.
that's something that's being lost, right, Felipe? Like,
Yeah.
you know, ever since the 50s up until streaming came along. And it's
Yeah.
and plenty of people are still doing this, but the concept of an album or a CD was
Mhm.
thought about, right? And with vinyl records back in the day, you thought about the sides and how they kind of fit together, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
CD that kind of went away because you just had 74 minutes, you could do whatever the fuck you wanted. But
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
with
that's
the streaming
yeah,
era, I mean, they still put out now. A lot of albums though back in the day had 8 shitty songs and 2 good ones.
Yeah.
Like so many records were like that.
Yeah.
You'd buy the record, you're like, okay, I like this song, the rest of it's crap.
yeah.
And that got even worse in the CD era because everybody was stuff like 80 minutes on a CD, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no reason not to include it, right?
Right. Yeah. Just throw it on there.
At least back then, you had to at least cut it to 45 minutes or whatever.
And you highlighted Bessie Smith last episode, didn't you, Felipe?
Yeah, we talked about her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was watching one of her 78s, and it was at $20, and it went for 118. So I was out.
No, yeah, but they sound like crap. The best is missed to get it are those CDs from Frog Records in the UK.
Oh, okay.
I passed up. There's 2 Columbia. Like Columbia does those like 2 for Billie Holiday sets. They have a couple of those for Bessie Smith, and I was looking at them today. I probably should have picked them up, but
no, but they sound terrible.
Louis Armstrong plays on at least one song. I'm probably more.
Yeah.
And same thing with some of those old like tenor sax players. Like there's some notable people that play with her.
So she was very popular in the 20s, probably the most popular singer. 20s, early 30s. Then Depression came, and a lot of stuff happened. And she helped put a lot of those guys in the map, and she played with them. Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington. She was a big rival with Ethel Waters, which was the second greatest singer of those times. And the funny thing is, she died in 37 out of a car crash. It was actually a very crappy episode because there was like a delivery truck, headlights off at night. They hit it head on, and
Jesus.
and the hospital in the city, I think they were in Louisiana or Mississippi, and the hospital would not take black people, so she was left bleeding for hours before getting to a hospital, and the other lady, which was white lady, and she was in the accident in the other car, she was taken to the hospital, and she survived, and she died after like 7 hours. She was taken to the hospital, but anyways, she was buried. And none of those guys that she helped with, like Ellington and Armstrong, nobody went to her funeral, and the funeral like dragged like thousands of people to the streets. And she got her headstone in 1970. Until 1970, there was not a headstone on her grave.
Jeez.
And there were many like concerts, fundraisers, famous people that play with her, famous people that say they were fans of her, and the people that actually put the headstone on in 1970 were 2 people. The president of the AARP back then, NAACP back then, because he was a maid that worked in Bessie's home when she was a girl.
Wow.
And the other person who didn't attend the inauguration, but she donated the rest of the money, was Janis Joplin.
Oh, that's cool.
Because she was a huge fan, and she sings like Bessie Smith.
Yeah.
There's John DeVore. I don't know if you guys follow his channel, DeVore Fidelity. He put up a video today about a African American opera singer, and
was it Leontine?
I can't remember the name. I was just kind of casually listening, but I didn't even realize, like, when he was talking about her music, I didn't even realize she was African American. And then he started talking about her influence and how she couldn't play like the Metropolitan Opera, and there was a lot of venues that she finally was able to play, later in her career. But basically, when she was at the height of her powers, she was not allowed to play certain venues, and how much of, and how influential she was in being the first to play certain places. Even he tells a story about how it's like the Daughters of the American Revolution or something.
Yeah.
Or something. There's some organization like that, and one of the first ladies, basically, because they wouldn't let her play a certain venue, one of the first ladies who was part of that broke off from it and did a whole. Anyway, he does a great kind of survey of some key points in her life, and it's worth checking out. It's Devore Fidelity, who is famous for making divorce speakers.
Well, she was strictly an opera singer, or did she?
Yes, and her like she wasn't like a soprano. She was like a certain specialty where she was more lower range for a female, but also had the entire range of a soprano. So she was like basically one of the best voices ever. And is how he goes over it. It's really fascinating. So
yeah, now you guys now know Teddy from Eat Sleep Vinyl from the VC from back in the day, right?
No.
Okay. His videos are still up. So I recommend them. But his daughter is a current opera singer, and it's taken her many years to build up, because you mentioned the Met, and so she's been I don't know if she won the whole United States competition or she got second or something like that, but she was way up there. She trained in Italy. If you go to YouTube and you do type in Ruby Dibble, and it's his daughter, and listen to her, it's incredible. I didn't know this whole opera thing was still going on in such a way where it's competitive.
Of course.
It's incredible that she won the competition in Kansas City, then she won in Arkansas in a regional, and then she moved on to New York. And it was funny, Teddy said, well, there were agents that wouldn't give her the time of day not that long ago, and she was doing stuff in Philly with the Philharmonic or whatever's in Philly. And now that she got to New York and did shows there, now it's on. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah.
There's some great opera. I mean, I know that it's boring for a lot of people, and it's boring to me in many ways, but there are some like, fun,
pretty spirited stuff.
Awesome things to listen to, and it's just incredible. But I do need to wind it down on my end. I have to kind of wrap things up with the dogs.
Well,
and stuff.
I think we're probably at a good place to wrap up the show then, because I'm getting kind of tired myself.
Okay.
Some of you are really late.
I have I just want one more thing that I wanted to mention for some time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the link here, guys. Whoever has not listened to, I have, and this is the link for the new Jerome Sabat record.
Ooh, good job, Felipe.
It's killer. It's killer. Buy it. It's on pre-order a special price.
Yeah.
It's an amazing record. I listened to it a couple of times already, and it's absolutely killer. It should be out, I believe, in August of September.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be talking to Jerome around that time to talk about the record and his new label and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're super excited. Yeah. Very cool. Great point, Felipe. Yeah, this is a label to watch for sure. It's just starting out, and it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we got the digital files there sounding incredible, but the music is very interesting.
Yeah,
Sweet.
We should definitely revisit this maybe next Friday too.
Yeah.
Do a bigger spotlight. I know that Jerome did an interview with Dave from Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. I have not watched that yet, but I think he goes over his new label. It's all to tape. It's he really cares about the recording process. He's an audiophile. I don't know if he's self-described audiophile, but he has a beautiful listening room, and he's into vinyl, and
he's a gearhead for sure.
Yeah, so he really cares about this stuff. In addition to being a great live musician. Yeah, so it should be great. We're really looking forward to that.
And it's a trio record, of course. Right, with Joe Martin, he's a regular bass player, and Al Foster on drums, and they actually they actually play a Miles Davis song. Actually,
that's cool.
Actually, it's ESP. Their version of ESP is killer.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
When he plays the Miles part, it's quite interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm super excited about this. All right. Thanks, Dr. Robert. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you all later. Have a good night. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're on.